Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is time for more Final Fantasy. Yes, right, click that button, make sure that's on, marvellous. And now we click the next button in proceedings. Did you click that button? Computer, did you click the button? Yes, it clicked the button, thank you. Just sort of, I clicked it and it just sort of sat there and went, huh? What? Oh, miles away. Did you want me to do something? It's very, very much one of those occasions where the computer apparently managed to sort of reflect the owner of the computer. Fucking miles away for most of the occasions. And what? Did you want something? I didn't really pay attention. Oh, stick it up your poo-poo. That's not the original lyrics to that song in any way, shape or form. Not even my corrupted version. Callous and calculating, the Fal'Cie manipulate their human tools via their emotions. Taking Sarah's form to catch the l'Cie off balance, Bartandalus predicts the imminent destruction of Cocoon. He has revived Reigns, now a compliant puppet, and instated him as the Sanctum's new Primarch, a ploy designed to provoke the cavalry revolutionaries into overthrowing the government in outrage at their former leader's betrayal. The gloating Fal'Cie also means to play on the false phobia of the populace to turn neighbour against neighbour, transforming Cocoon Street into a bloodbath. Worse, Bartandalus then describes how the cavalry, unnoticed amidst the chaos, will infiltrate Eden and follow. Couldn't do it. It was close though. Bloody close. I think that instated caught me again. Just that little bit. I managed to bypass it quicker than I did the first time I tried that little speech. But god damn. Gosh darn it, game. Why you gotta do me like that? Oh, why you gotta do me? Why you gotta do me like that? Now, I can't remember the direction I was going. Okay, it looks like we're going this way. Now I just have to rather hope. I'll tell you what, let's go back to walking around a snoo. Because we went to Zaz in order to show off how he rode a chocobo. Which, in fairness, was poorly. That's how he rode a chocobo. I think the best one was probably Fang, wasn't it? The sort of casual hop onto the side and then off we go. She just gave no fucks. No fucks were given by Fang. But that's because she's Fang and she's awesome. I think I'm loving Fang more and more every single time I play the game. I don't know why. Every time I see her, it's like, do you know what? I do like her as a character. I do like her. But I don't know. Difficult to know which one. Now, it's very strange. This seems very quiet in my ear hole, which I suppose arguably I can solve that problem by turning it up. But it's alarming that this one seems quiet because it probably is reflected in the rest of the audio. But there you go. Alright, what we got here? Is that a jumper ball? Oh, that is a jumper ball, okay. So, what are our options? Gonna round there. Difficult to know which one is going to take me the correct way. It might be a case of they'll wrap round in a circle and therefore make zero difference to proceedings as to which way I go. But for now, we'll head this direction, since I'm already facing in this direction. Seems a reasonable choice, yes indeed. Let's kick some things in the water. I'm assuming you're weak to water, yeah. Hence why he's doing water and aqua strikes. The auto battle must feel his strength and magic are even enough that it won't make too much difference. Sometimes when there's so many numbers heading onto the screen, it's like, I'm gonna try and figure out which numbers are Snow's attacks, and it's like, nope, I can't, because there's so very many numbers. All of the numbers, more numbers than you could hope for. And what's quite peculiar is they do seem to be sort of like just off on a oh no, maybe that's a path. It's just like they look very isolated on that platform there, and I don't know whether it's very. I would think if they're going to stick enemies somewhere, then that's going to be somewhere you can reach. But it does feel like they're maybe just in the background. But oh, another Moogle puppet, nice. Again, I'll probably keep it just because I have not got. It's singing while playing FF Time already. Yes. Do 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 do. That's more humming, but still. Da da. It's time to get in there. Ba, 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 ba. But yes, it's very much. It is that time of the week again. SaturJay RPG. It comes around quicker each week, which is amazing because you wouldn't have thought that. It's technically exactly the same volume of hours, and yet sometimes it feels distinctly like it's a case of, oh shit, I'm supposed to be doing a thing now. That seems to have come along quickly. Especially for me, it's like Wednesday, doing the Wednesday, then the Thursday, then the Saturday. It's like this sudden sort of like, that's practically half my week gone in streams alone. And so it really does rush. As soon as Wednesday afternoon hits, it feels like Thursday, Friday, Saturday all rushes past. Until finally Monday pops around again, and then you've only got a couple of days, and then the cycle starts again. Oh dear. It will not let me have the 5 stars. So far, every single battle against these guys has been 4 stars, 4 stars. You're allowed 4 stars. You're allowed a maximum of 4 stars. Never will you have any further stars. Are you facing the good way? Yes, you are. Good lad. Well, you made it easy for me. Well done. I do appreciate it. But a Strigoi, I don't think we've ever met before. Is that correct? Yes. Although, weirdly, I should have all of that information, I would think, since I just Libra'd it, but never mind. But yeah, oh, interestingly enough, a Strigoi, I'm assuming, is a further type of vampire. But that's based primarily on... There was a program called The Strain, I believe? And I don't think it was just... I think maybe it was just called Strain without the. Because if it was called The Strain, it sounds a bit more like it's a game show where the first person to have a massive shit wins. We've loaded these guys up with enough... I can't think of... Imodium? Or is that for... No, I'm trying to think of one that will stop diarrhea, therefore will constipate you. But I can't think of it. I don't know. I don't know what that is. But we've stuffed these guys with enough stuff to keep them backed up for at least a week. First one to shit wins $5,000. It's time for The Strain. They've been sat on those toilets for 2 days now. None of them showing any sign. Oh, Imodium does stop you from pooping. Okay. Oh, well, it would be Imodium then. I wasn't sure. I must admit, I find myself lucky. I've never had need of either the either variant. I've never had need of, which is quite nice to have as an accomplishment. I don't know. Is it an accomplishment? I suppose maybe. If it pops up into the corner of your eye, then you know it's an achievement. But yeah, anyway, there was a program called Strain. As I say, I think it might have actually been called The Strain, but nonetheless, it wasn't anything to do with straining on the toilet, obviously. It was a program to do with vampires, and it was rather good. It was rather entertaining. I quite enjoyed it. Right, we've found our star fella. Well, I suppose arguably we might as well deal with the star fella. We've got to go back on ourselves, I suspect, anyway. It is Imodium as in immobile. Oh, that makes a degree of sense, yeah. I didn't necessarily think of that notion, but certainly it makes sense. I feel like, is this... I don't know if that's just the crystals chiming off, or whether there's a secret little treasure chest. Doesn't quite feel like the treasure chest theme, so maybe not. Are you? Oh, right. You were facing away from me. If I'd acted quick sticks, I might have been able to get the back attack on that. Can I? No. Never mind. Let's not do that one. Oh, yeah, okay, we'll probably want a bit of bully on there. Get us some speedy nonsense. And then some other buffs. And some debuffs. Everybody loves a debuff. It's where you take an iron wool cloth and you rub it against the car so that you debuff it, and then you get a small child to wax on, wax off, so that you can get a good old shine. Do 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 do. I said a budgie budgie boo. I know you did. I didn't understand it the first time you said a budgie budgie boo. But apparently a budgie budgie boo is what you said. Do doodly doodly do. Keep punching. I tell you what, it's the bloody Imperil. Yeah, it's Imperil that really does this guy in. I mean, the poison's not hurting. Well, it is hurting. That's the point. It's helping. It's helping and hurting at the same time. It's hurting him and helping me, but nonetheless, it's that imperilment that really kicks the crap out of this guy, because it just ends up allowing you to use any element you fancy, and boom, got yourself a win on the books. 5 stars. I seem to have broken through to the 5-star rating. Now, oh, that's just normal enemies again. Which way are you facing? Okay, this way now. Oh, I'm not in their perimeter anyway, so it doesn't actually matter if I'm seen. Oh, you little bastard. They must have a wide field of view, considering it's like, come on, they did not see me. I approached his arm. At worst, I approached his arm. So I should have got the back attack there. They were very generous on that them seeing me factor. Anyway, the strain. We'll get through it in a moment or two. The difficulty spike of Pulse has made me realise how good Imperil and Deprotect D-Shell is. Yep. Those 3 are sort of the key ones. That's why a lot of them are immune to it, although these guys aren't. But I mean, I'm sufficiently powerful now that I don't care that much for them. I haven't actually had to heal myself in one single battle this entire cave, so I think we're good to go. We are golden in terms of that. Although, you know, I grant you the fellow with the shield is a pain in the arse if you don't imperil and other ailments, because it just takes a long time. That's the crucial part. Wouldn't necessarily have been difficult as it were, but it would have been sort of can you not please? Can you not last 6 years, please? I need you to last 5 minutes. That's all. 5 minutes, then we're done, then we'll go off and do something else, please. Well, I might as well use this save point, since as my boss monster is about to, well, sub-boss, I suppose, technically. My sub-boss is about to kick the shit out of my... Oh, hello. Oh, what's all this then? There's a secret little perf there. Nobody really gives a shit. Oh, it's a tiny moth. It's not going to be I doubt it's going to be a tiny moth forever, is it, though? Or is it? No? No, it's just maybe a tiny moth with friends, okay? But you are still technically simply a tiny moth. Yes, a Numidia. Okay, well, we can Libra the Numidia and get some information, and then ideally kick the shit out of it. Yeah, weakness to air. Yeah. You may have had some friends, but you're still fucking nothing, son. Absolutely nothing. I'll tell you what, do you happen to have... I don't think you do, actually. And this is taking too long. This is why I don't tend to bother working things out for myself, because the battle system is designed to be relatively swift, which is why you need the auto chain. I think more are summoning. Am I correct in that? Yeah. There's definitely, as I kill some, more are spawning, which is annoying, but you are still ultimately nothing to me. But that there is an element of eventually, if you keep throwing them at me, they might actually overwhelm me, which we're going to have to try and factor in. Especially, yes, we are now down to half health. They're not... They do a fair amount of damage very swiftly. That's part of the issue. Okay, let's get some protection down here. Provoke them all. And get some synergists. Vendetta, vendetta! There we go. Right. We can start just sort of healing, buffing, just relaxing a moment or two until we go back in earnest to try and kill them. Probably do at least one more, get another few buffs in. There we go, that'll do it. Hopefully, what I need Vanille to do is if she can heal up Zaz. And then Zaz is going to be doing some more buffs, and the Vendetta should kick in and do at least a little bit of damage here. That's the ticket, and now I think back to Relentless Assault in order to hopefully polish off the remaining of these little irritating flappy things. But it depends on precisely how many more they plan on spawning, because I think we're at R. I'm wondering if we are actually going to rotate through the entirety of the alphabet. Are we going to get back to A? Are we going to find another A in here somewhere? Because I've just spotted a W. There's an X. We have got a Z. So if there are any more, we will have actually spread back to A. Yep, I think we may have actually spread back to A. Unless there is the possibility that the A one I may have ended up just accidentally missing and leaving. Because obviously I am just sort of... Nope, they've definitely... Because now we've got D, E, F. Yep, we have officially... I don't know whether I'm supposed to be doing something else here or just killing everything. Oh, I think the real big ones come in. Okay. Now we've found the Silfax. So the Numidias we were never supposed to be killing. Well, obviously we had to kill them to attract the big fella, but the Numidias made zero difference. It was all about getting the Silfax to come forth. Okay, Grave Summon. I'm assuming Grave... is he actually summoning Numidias? I feel like he might be. Let's try and trash at least a few more. Yeah, Grave Summon. Is that... Yes, it is. Okay, he's summoning... Okay, right, let's change of plan. Let's get a Libra on the Syphax. Find out. He's basically... Yeah, he's a chunky version of the Numidias. Have I got the wrong name? No, they are really called Numidia. Oh dear. I suppose it sounds a bit like chlamydia, which is why, to me, it sounds... In fairness, Syphax and Numidia. It does sound a little bit like a sort of pair of STIs you might end up with. But I'm afraid to say, sir, you've come in and I've given your blood a test and you've got Syphax and Numidia. It's like, oh no! Yes, I'm afraid so. You ought to call all of your previous sexual partners, for they may have Syphax and Numidia as well. Oh, shit, bro. Let's get back to Bully, where we might be able to get some actual debuffs on there, because obviously when I was utilising the previous one, it was Sentinel, Synergist and Medic. So, how... I didn't actually ask, so we can do so now. Oh, Revenge of the Fallen. That's probably bad news, Bears, because that is going to be... That feels like one of those manoeuvres that's going to be... You killed a lot of its children. Now it's going to insta-kill you. But it didn't, so that's nice. But how are you, Butternut? Are you doing well? Are you playing Final Fantasy XIII alongside of me as well? Or are you up to other things this afternoon? How far through Grand Pulse have you made it? Although it's difficult to quantify that question. With or difficult to quantify the answer, I suppose, because it's got a lot of side quests and a lot of all over the place and wanderings around. You're in a knight. No, you're in a knight. Your mother's in a knight. Your party has earned the rank of Heart Striker. Well, that's because Snow is a handsome chap who's glorious to all the women. He's a heartstriker. Oh, that's big and fancy. And I don't know what it means, but it's big and fancy. And I'm sure it means something. In fairness, we have seen another one of those Seath creatures. They have done that sort of launch into the sky before. So clearly it's meaning something. I just don't know precisely what. And in fairness, I may never find out, because the unfortunate truth here is... it's kind of like... I'm going to end up doing bits and then never finishing off the whole, I think, is the problem. So it's like, oh, the shiny has shot into the sky. What does it mean? You're never going to find out. Because you are going to go and just finish the story mode when the going gets tough. The tough run off and do the storyline. Yeah, I think a lot of the Seath Stones... if you want to just complete the story mode, you definitely don't need to do quite as many as I'm doing. But a good few, of the early ones especially, a good few of the early ones, it is sort of... I mean, they basically sort of point you in the right direction of the story, for starters. And for seconds, of course, it's all good. It's all very good experience, but not actually experience, crystal points. And I don't know, this is one of those games where at one point in time in the future, someone will probably turn around and go, do you know what, you could have made it a lot easier on yourself if you didn't collect all that CP, because the enemies are scaling to your CP, and therefore let you reattempt sea stones for more rewards. Oh, did you get another reward? I mean, I probably knew that, just I've not really fully acknowledged it. Certainly I know you can redo them, because you can try and up your ranking. But in terms of extra rewards, I haven't really gone through and tried. Maybe I'll do that at some point. Although, once is probably enough for me now. Once I've done them once, I don't necessarily need to do them again. Although, it depends on the reward to a certain extent. Did you ever find out, did you manage to get the correct mineral, or ore mineral, or minute ore? Did you ever, mostly components, that's not too bad, did you ever find the correct ore to upgrade your lightning sword? And I don't mean a sword that's to do lightning, I mean lightning's sword. Because I'd be curious if you ever managed to stumble upon that. Especially because it might end up being the same mineral that's stalling Zaz, because he's missing a mineral that I don't know what it is, which is a problem. I don't know. It's a problem I don't know how to solve. I don't like that line. It makes me feel uncomfortable, Zaz. I know why you say it. I understand the meaning behind it. It still just makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable, because it feels a little bit like you're calling me daddy. And I don't want that, Zaz. I don't want you to call me daddy. It might appeal to some people, but can't 100% say it appeals to me. I ain't your diddy. That's another program reference. God, that's an old program reference. There was this really old program that was, I think it was a bit of an obscure one, but it was some kind of, I think it was like an alien invasion where the aliens lived in a pond. They'd crashed into a pond, I think was the idea, and they lived in the pond, and then they were trying to sort of, they were attempting to take over the town, and so they sort of, almost like Invasion of the Body Snatchers style stuff, they were sort of thieving people, and one of them, I think, was supposed to have thieved this child's father, and because they had such strong, sort of, I think it was like the South of America type deal, but they had such strong stuff in this, such strong accents. It ended up being, he just sort of could turn around and went, "You ain't my diddy." It's one of those lines. I've discussed this in the past. Some of those lines that just stay with you in a weird way. It's just like, oh, I see. Why does that line stay in my brain? I do not know. but it does. It's been like a good decade, if not closer to 2 decades, since I watched that programme. Probably closer to 15 years rather than 2 decades, but nonetheless, it's a long time, and yet for some reason, I can barely remember the programme. There's 2 overarching things that I remember from it. One is the line, "You ain't mud, did it?" Because it just made me chuckle so much, I suppose. And the other one, and it always, if it was taken out of context and sort of nobody understood, it would sound like it was a huge insult. But as I say, these sort of, I think it was aliens, I don't know. It might have been horror-based rather than alien-based. I cannot remember for the life of me. But nonetheless, they were sort of living in the pond, so they were sort of fish-like. And it was a fella, I believe his name is Michael Fichtner, or something along those lines. He's been in a lot of other things as well. But I can only refer to him as Fishface now, because he'd been taken over. I believe he was the Diddy that the small child was talking about, in fairness. Do I have these? Yes, Katanes and Yakshinis. Yeah, we've faced off against these before. But it's just like, I can't see the man nowadays and not just think, oh look, oh, it's Fishface. And as I say, like, outside of knowing the exact, because I understand why I refer to him as Fishface, and it's because of this old program. But anybody else, if I was to go, you know the actor Fishface, you just look at me and go, that's rude. And I don't even think his face looks much like a fish. Because it doesn't, in fairness, it doesn't. So, Petrovsite. Let's have a look, see if I've got a Petrovsite on hand. I've got a perovskite. I've got a pair of skites. They're flying through the sky. They're flying away on their zephyr. So that's not Zaz's one, unfortunately. Although, arguably, I know it's not Zaz's one in to some degree, owing to the fact that I went and purchased a load, didn't I? So, I was trying to experiment. Ooh, there's another Seath Stone in there, but I suspect that might be in its 50s, but... Well, we're wandering down this way anyway, so it's kind of... It's pointless to decide not to go now. We are going down there. We're then going to backtrack there. We're then going to go along there and find that Seath Stone. There you go. I've given you a comprehensive guide to where we're going. You could, of course, just follow the leader because, you know, Snow knows where he's going. Fuck's sake. Undermining me at every opportunity. Okay. Note to self, we must try and Liber the ferruginous pudding. I'm assuming that is based on ferrous in some fashion, as in iron. Hence why it's the opt version of the rusty puddings. Oh no, he's got his rusty pudding out. Oh, why would he do such a thing? It's disgusting. Nobody asked him to get his rusty pudding out, but every time he comes round... In fairness, I don't know why I invite him round anymore, because every time he comes round, he always insists on getting his rusty pudding out. And nobody enjoys it. Apart from Uncle Dave, who seems to, but I mean, nobody trusts Uncle Dave. I don't know why I invite Uncle Dave either. He's a known sex offender. What fucked up family you've got. Well, yeah, yes it is. It's only because they're family that we invite them round anymore. Him and his rusty pudding and Dave the sex offender. Do 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 do. Attacking the rusty pudding. I suppose technically it's only a rust pudding. Oh right, now we want to do our Libra to get information on the pudding. Which, in fairness, I suspect if you actually had a scoop of that pudding, you would probably go, no, this is not a pudding I want to eat. Ferruginous pudding. I do not. I suppose maybe ferruginous? No, I think it would be ferruginous. A Ferruginous. It's a Lou Ferrigno pudding. It's going to turn into the Incredible Hulk if we're not careful. Don't make the pudding angry, Zaz. And by don't make the pudding angry... Yep, no, shooting it. Shooting is definitely going to make the pudding angry. Do not make the pudding... Oh, I love the word pudding. I don't know why, but it just makes me chuckle. It's one of those words that just... I don't know. I think it's as well... I was doing Tales of Berseria. I've been playing that recently on my own time. And there's... this isn't particularly spoilerific, so if you've not played it, it doesn't make too much odds. But there's a little mini-game where you have to do sort of... basically, you're a waiter. I think they've done it several times in the Tales of series. Just, basically, you take an order, you go to the bar, you find the order, you take the order back to them. But the first time I did it was just this one bloke going, pudding! And so I'd rush off, get a pudding, and then he'd sort of crop up, the little speech bubble would pop up above his head again, and I'd go over there and investigate, and it'd be like, pudding! He never actually said any dialogue. It's silent dialogue. This is entirely me. Just that's how I heard it in my brain. Just him shouting, pudding! And you'd rush over, get him a pudding, bring it back, he'd eat the pudding, and then he'd have his speech bubble, pudding! And then you'd rush over, get him another pudding, pudding! And it was like, finally, the man asked for fruit tart. And then you'd go back to him with his fruit tart, and then after the fruit tart, he'd go, pudding! And you'd just have this infinite pudding. The infinite pudding task. Just constantly, continually getting a man pudding. Would you like some pudding? Pudding, 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 pudding. Everybody needs a pudding, but not a rusty pudding. Oh god, this is... Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be 2 Ferruginous puddings. Right, well, first thing we'll try and do is wipe out the little rust pudding, because that shouldn't take too long. Let's try and take down a rusty pudding before the rusty pudding puts its rust. It's going to try putting its rust on me. Pudding, rusty pudding. Pudding, 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 pudding. Suddenly I feel oddly like Miranda Hart. I don't even know if it means anything anymore. Said it so many times. Let's get a bit of bully, because I think it'll make life easier. Especially against 2 rusty Ferruginous puddings. If it was only 1, I'd have probably just, you know, brute forced it. And not cared too much, but the fact that it's 2 does rather make me inclined to get as much. Well, having said that, are you immune to everything, or are you just... Am I just getting unlucky? Okay, it looks like I'm just getting unlucky, fair enough. But arguably, we've seen that Imperil is relatively useful. Let's just have a check, because... Oh, wait. Oh, is he... Maybe I've imperiled them both. That might be what she's up to. But let's get back to diversity, get some healing up in this place. Oh, I've got Electro Fists! Not the most pertinent of things, but useful nonetheless, especially... Yeah, if it had said resistant, I would have sacked Zaz from his role of synergist. He would have been out on his ass. How dare you put lightning fists on when you know full well. Vesperia. Yes, that's the one that's the one we had problems with. Me and Vesperia, we had a little argument. Now, you know, nobody's to blame. Nobody's to blame, apart from Vesperia. But we had a little upset, a little argument, and we haven't talked since. But nonetheless, you know, I quite liked it up until we had the argument. And it was when we had the argument we decided to part company for a little bit. Just a bit of time apart, I think will do us both the best of the world. But yes, by the end, a customer could ask for like 7 curries, 4 steaks, and 8 ice creams. Oh, wow. This one, I think, I don't know. It might. I can't remember the Vesperia one, truth be told. But certainly the one in Berseria seems to be far more sort of it's kind of... Although, I don't know, is that sort of like one at a time? So it totals that he ends up asking for 7 curries, but he's asking for 1 curry at a time. Because that's how Berseria seems to work. They basically go, I'd like this dish, and you go off, run off, get that dish, and then they nom 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 that dish, and then they go, I'd like this dish, and then you run off, get them the dish, and then because there's only so many seats, you do get them sort of start requesting many things repeatedly over and over again. And like, as I say, some of them seem to get stuck on one thing more than others. Like, it would be, I don't know, I'm assuming maybe it's random. I don't know. Maybe it's random based on their personalities. Oh, he asked for all at once, and heaven forbid, God forbid, you'll give him 6 instead of 7. No, he needs 7 to be munching all at once. He couldn't possibly munch away at the first 6 while you get him his 7th. Fuck you! How dare you suggest such a thing? But that is an interesting one. Yeah, as I say, in Berseria, I think it's far more sort of... I mean, it's a lot easier than that, I think. Although, having said that, I don't know... I've only done it with 3 characters, because a couple of the others that I had in the party at the time didn't have it available to them. But yeah, certainly the high-end character I did it with got a little bit stressful. I think that was the 3rd round. So you had 1 round was really easy. It was just 1 bloke going, pudding! And 1 woman sort of going, salad, please. And the bloke going, pudding! 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 And then the 2nd round was the same bloke equally going, pudding! Pudding! Fruit tart! Pudding! And then a couple of other guests sort of going, I want curry. I want salad. I want a salad and a curry. But 1 at a time, in fairness. And then sort of towards the 3rd round, it was... not as intimidating as I thought. I didn't see the monsters. I heard them sort of exit. Although this could still fuck me up, in fairness. I say not as intimidating. They can still just decimate me because there's enough numbers. If I do lose this, my temptation would be to just sentinel it out. Rock the sentinel for a while and go as maximum defense. In fairness, I might be better off rocking the sentinel right now. Let's go entrenching. I think entrench is one of the higher defense ones, although not literally the highest. So there we go. Goodbye. It does. A couple of years back, I wouldn't necessarily have thought to sentinel it out, but today I did. Today I did. Is there a stinky treasure? Yes. Nooks and crannies. That's where they hide the good stuff. I said nooks and crannies. Oh, that's where they hide the good stuff. I think they do it. Oh, they did a double nook. Or was it a double cranny? And especially particle accelerators, I think they're one of the better things to be able to stick in your weapon. But anyway, yeah, the Berseria sort of waiter thing ended up being very stressful because it was like you ended up getting... You could only carry 2 dishes at once, but the guests were sort of like going, I want pudding! And then the next one, I want more pudding as well! If he's having pudding, I want pudding! And you had like 4 orders for pudding, but you could only carry 2. And I never did find out because I did it in order, but I don't know whether it mattered which dish was in which slot. Because, as I say, I naturally assumed that if you talked the man who asked for pudding with salad in the first slot, he would probably have kicked up a fuss, despite the fact that you could just, you know... I get the impression it's meant to be like, you've got pudding in the left hand, salad in the right hand, but one of those hands always goes out first. And that's the one in the first slot. And God forbid the man who wanted a pudding got salad presented to him first. He would go apeshit, despite the fact that you could just easily go, well, I've got the pudding in the other hand. Here's the pudding. The pudding is on me. Might not be in the first slot, but the pudding is clearly on me, sir. Would you like the pudding? No, you tried to give me salad, and I only eat pudding. I tried fruit tart once. I didn't like it. I want pudding. I have made an entire backstory for a man who just sits in a cafe. Like the most inconsequential character of the entire game. Really intrigued about what Vesperia did to you. It was... Oh, God. I mean, I can't remember precisely how far into the game it was, but you'd... anybody else present may want to look away or not listen. I don't think there is anybody else present, but just in case, this might spoil it. But I think you were on the sort of place with the fighting arena, question mark. Yes, I think so. And you just discover the sort of big twist that the sort of the fancy owner of the city, or mayor of the city or something, was actually this monstrous sort of beastie, goddessy type thing. And then I think basically you end up going to bed, and then all hell breaks loose in the night, and you end up sort of having to go down the stairs. And what I think got me was the fact that they asked me to go down the stairs and do a shitload of battles. Then they asked me to do a super hard boss battle, and then they went, oh, by the way, do you fancy doing that boss battle again, but even harder? And I think that was the one that just made me sort of, nope, fuck me over, and I don't forgive you. It's one of those ones where I suspect I'll probably go back to it in the not too distant future and go, okay, it's not quite as bad as I made out. But I was in a mood, and you offended me. Bastards. It's a little bit like, in fairness, Berseria. Just... Berseria irritated the fuck out of me as well, because it did one of its sort of... Hey, you've volunteered for a dangerous fight, have you? Congratulations. Can you get through the dangerous fight? And it was like, yeah, I can actually. I can just defeat all these normal enemies, it's fine. But the normal enemies did manage to put up a bit more fight than usual. Do we have the... Yes, we do. I think we've beaten these guys before, so that's fine. But, you know, they threw a load of enemies at me, and it was like, okay, we're nearing the end. One of my party's dead. I'll leave it, I don't mind. We'll just knock it on the head and go, it's fine. We'll just get through the battle, and then we'll revive at the end of the battle, and we'll sort it out that way. Oh, shit, we need to deal with the sword, really. Do we ever... Yeah, we did scan the sword, good. I think we need some bullying here. I think it's required. But yeah, they decided that in my weakest state, which I suppose it's always the way they do it. It's always the way they do it. But in my weakest state, a bit like, in fairness, Vesperia, that's what it felt like. It felt like, oh, thanks game. Not only do you put me in some encounters before the bloody boss fight, you then double boss me, you fucking pricks. And in fairness, it's not even the end of the game, and they're already double bossing me, the bastards. But it did feel distinctly like, okay, you've kicked the ever-loving shit out of every character I own. Hopefully that's going to be the... Oh no, you've just put me straight back into a boss. Cool. And it's a bit like, as I say, with Berseria, what they did was they went, here's a dangerous encounter. Oh, we've stuck a dire foe on the end as well. And it was very much almost it was almost another I think we're done game, but I didn't on this occasion. I just walked the other way. I reloaded the game. Luckily, I'd saved it only recently, so it didn't feel like I'd lost a large chunk of the game. But, you know, it could have been worse, is the key thing. Try and stop it forging the blade, please. Thank you. There you go. And hopefully there are some good spoils. But I don't know who Victor is, so I think what I'll do is I'll keep the Transformer for myself. Next time I see Victor, what we'll try and convince him is we never found the spoils. So if you do happen upon Victor, just, you know, keep it between us that we got a Transformer. Because, I mean, he's going to be very jealous. He does a lovely, you know, Bumblebee. So he'd have loved a Transformer. Vesperia's combat to be the most fun of any of the Tales games. Ooh. I can't quite remember it enough. I think that one does still feature... That one's still in the era of when they were doing the sort of 2D, 3D style stuff, where you're sort of on a 2D plane on some parts, but then you can sort of unlock yourself into a more 3D plane, I think. Whereas Berseria, I think... I've quite enjoyed the combat system of Berseria, because that's full sort of 3D motion. You can run wherever you fancy running. 53! I feel like that's probably a no, but... I mean, I'll take it on, just in case. I've come all this way, I might as well take it on. I don't think I'm going to be beating mission number 53. But as I say, we'll take it just in case. Just in case. But I think I'm slightly biased towards wanting to do more of Vesperia because of... I think, at least partially, although I feel like they might have turned up elsewhere, but the protagonists in that one turn up in... I believe it's... Now, which one do they turn up in? I think it's Project Cross Zone. Either 1 or 2, or both maybe, I don't know. But Project Cross Zone they turned up in, which is what made me first want to go after and find Vesperia. Because it was like, oh, I like these two. This is interesting. And I love, absolutely adore the protagonist, and the characters were wonderful. But as I say, I think it was one of those ones where maybe I was in a bad mood in the first place, and it just pushed me that little bit too far with its annoying sort of, we want you to do so much more than I am capable of doing. And a lot of the time, when a game goes, we'd like you to be an expert, please. So, you know, be an expert right now, right this very second. Be the best you can possibly be. And then when I realise the fact that I don't have the skill set to perform to the game's requirements, that tends to just trigger quite a bit of rage, which is inconvenient to say the least. But there you go. Can't be helped. As I say, the fact that I own it now kind of means I'll probably go back to it at some stage, but at the moment I am very much enjoying Berseria. Mostly because I didn't know... I think all of them potentially, but I didn't know quite how much the Tales of series are linked. But it was weird sort of seeing a lot of the characters I'm seeing in Berseria were like, this is weird, I recognise the names. Why do I recognise these names? And it's like, oh right, I see. Direct links to Zestiria, and sort of almost direct links to a lot of the others as well, because of course you've got, I believe Patty Lafleur is one of the ones in Vesperia. Although I think, from what I understood, she's like a bonus character for that sort of remake-y style of Vesperia. So I think she didn't appear in the original, but she did appear in the PlayStation 3 version, and the one I've got, which is on the PlayStation 4, is pretty much the PlayStation 3 one, I think? I don't know. Sometimes they get a little convoluted with all of the links and stuff, but nonetheless, she's supposed to be the sort of granddaughter of Captain Eyfried, and then in Berseria they're talking about a Captain von Eyfried, I think, or Van Eyfried, something along those lines. So you've got that name running through the sort of series, I think, and then, as I say, from what I can tell, Berseria is clearly the just before Zestiria. Whether the release dates line up for that or not, I cannot remember which one came first. But nonetheless, Berseria does have some direct, like, okay, these are characters that have actually full-on appeared in Zestiria, fair enough. And a lot of the reference is they make sort of ringing bells from Zestiria. So they must all have some linkage in some fashion. But I have been enjoying the characters of Berseria, because they are just that little bit sort of, that little tiny bit darker. Because the whole of Berseria seems to be like, you're kind of on the darker side. So it's quite nice having all the characters be just that little bit more devilishly. Especially, I think my favourite character in Berseria is Eisen. I think he's very enjoyable. Although, yeah, okay. Hello. Who are you, Snow? You're Snow, aren't you? What? Just guide me through. Can you remember why I like you, Snow? Yeah, it's because I've got a long coat and I punch things. Yeah, you're quite right. You're quite right. Do you know a man called Eisen? I do, yeah. Do you know why I like him? Yeah, I think I can guess. Is it because he's got a long coat and he punches stuff? Yeah, well, it is Snow. Bravo. I mean, you're a smart man, Snow. I know. I'm also a hero. But yeah, I like Eisen because he's got a lovely long coat and he punches the shit out of things. I'm a simple man to please. Do you want to please me? Show me a man in a long coat who punches shit. But the other character I quite like is Rogaru Rangetsu, I think. Now, see, I was wondering there because I remember someone saying they didn't like Berseria, and I've been getting on quite well with that. And then you're suggesting you couldn't quite gel with Zestiria, and I remember quite enjoying that one to a certain extent. And I was recently just reading some of the reviews on Steam for Zestiria, and some of the people were sort of going, it drags on. It's like they deal with the story in the first 5 minutes, and then they don't bother doing anything else the rest of the game. It's boring, and I don't remember it being boring either. But yeah, I don't know. I remember quite. I certainly remember completing Zestiria. So let's put it that way. It didn't do anything egregious enough to me to make me go, no, thank you. So there's that. It's got that in its favour. This way. But yeah, I can't fully remember Zestiria's combat system, truth be told. I only remember one crucial thing I do remember, and this is exclusive to the PlayStation 4, I'm assuming, because I don't think any other controller can do it. But when I was playing it on the PlayStation 4, what I really quite enjoyed, and it's nothing game-changing, it's just this little extra that made me go, that's nice. You know, I'm assuming you probably are aware that the PlayStation 4 controller has that little light area on the back of it, where it sort of lights up blue. It's usually blue. Some games do some fancy stuff with it, but I remember Zestiria is the game that did one of the, it's done one of the most things with it, which is basically where you could change your element. Again, I can't quite remember how the system worked, but you could definitely somehow change your serif, I think. Oh, literally holding one right now, it's red. Oh, there you go. As I say, I think maybe you can set it as its base colour, maybe. And I just left it as its default blue, perhaps. And I know I think in Berseria, it seems to be red most of the time. And I think one of the other games I was playing, it was red most of the time. Possibly Yakuza, I think it was red most of the time. Anyway, I just let it do. I just let it do what it does. I don't tend to worry too much about what colour it is. But nonetheless, in Zestiria, because you could change your elements. Can we get this? Okay, let's there we go. Right, board it. There you go. Board Atomos, yes, please. That's why I said I pushed the button when it said board. You absolute bellend. But anyway, when you changed the different serif things you had attached to you for the power thing, if it's not clear that I don't remember the battle system, it should be now. But you had like angel type things, didn't you, that were linked to the characters. And as you changed those angel type things, what the controller would do would change to a different colour in order to reflect the element of that angel you're attached to. And I liked that. As I say, it no way, shape or form adjusts the gameplay. No way, shape or form makes anything substantially better or worse. It's just one of those lovely little touches that make you go, that's nice. I like that. I enjoy the fact that you went to that effort. Right, I do believe it's going to be that one's probably the easiest to do, because it is sort of running through this area, I believe. I'm not too fussed about chasing down that star, because as I say, it's mission 50 odd, and I'm only in missions 30 odd, so I don't think 50 is going to be a viable choice. But it is, you know, it is what it is, and what it is this is the Arang Aria. Oh yes it is, oh yes it is, oh yes it is, oh yes it is. Now that's intriguing. Why then? Is that not? That's weird. That's weird. Where the shit is that thing? Anyway, we're not worrying too much about that. I've gone to the wrong place. That's the key there. Oh yeah, of course. Did you? No. Why are you holding a PlayStation 4 controller then? I remember feeling like you were playing inefficiently if you directly controlled one of the serifs rather than the main character. Ooh, interesting. I don't recall that. I might be wrong, but I don't recall it. Because I think I tended to bias in some fashion, whether it was, I can't remember whether it was the guy in the hat, which was something like Dave or something, or whether I biased Zavid, who was the big wind spirit. But I definitely biased one of the two of them, because I quite liked what they were offering. But as I say, I can't. I'll hold my hands up. I can't comment on the battle system of Zestiria, because I have not played it in many years. But yes, why are you holding a PlayStation 4 controller? Because I thought you were Xbox on PC. So I'm assuming you are playing a PlayStation 4, which is quite reasonable. But I'm curious, if you are playing a PlayStation 4, what, pray tell, are you playing? I'm curious. You, of course, do not have to tell me. You can keep it to yourself. Final Fantasy XIV, I see. I do like Final Fantasy XIV. Or, I mean, I suppose, arguably, it's changed so much since I played it that, of course, I might not like it now, but I liked it when I was part of the beta, don't you know? I was part of the open. That's not the point. Whether it was open or closed, that's not the point. I was part of the beta. I was one of the first to play I was one of the many to play the open beta. That's not the point. The point is, I played the open beta. Primarily because it was free. I think it's one of those ones where if I could justify paying out the subscription fee, Final Fantasy XIV would be the one I would justify paying out the subscription fee with, you know, over any other double MMORPG is what I mean by that. I really would like you to show me the diggy. Show me the diggy. Show me the diggy. You seem to be a little more excited. There we go. I think in fairness it is the same one. You can now play to level 60 for free, I believe. Now, yeah, I get that impression. But whenever I go to sort of have a look at it, it still seems to be sort of suggesting a subscription fee. So I keep just dismissing it and going, no, I'll just grab an actual free one. The other one I think I'd quite enjoy, that I might try and do at some point, although I think it's about... It's not the money factor on this occasion. I think it's about 70 to 90 gigabytes of data. But I want to have a go at Phantasy Star Online, because I do remember years ago I absolutely adored Phantasy Star, and so I quite like the idea of having a go of their online one, which I think is Phantasy Star Online 2, and that is sort of just bought in all the expansions. Oh no! Oh shit! I didn't remember there was a dude there. That's fine. At some point I'll have to have another crack at that thing, but last time I had a go at that thing, it insta-killed me, which makes me disinclined to have another go for now. Felt like I needed a lot more strength than I currently possess, which is inconvenient to say the least. But yeah, I keep looking at it, and it does regularly come down in price. Certainly on Steam. I'm assuming you've specified you got it on PlayStation 4, but I'd probably try and get it on Steam at some point, just to sort of potentially be able to stream the thing, although difficult to know what will and won't stream before you actually try. So, but yeah, it's as I say, it's one of the better ones, and I think a lot of the reason why I find it to be one of the better ones is simply all of the sort of Final Fantasy polish, because I'm such a Final Fantasy fan. The moment they sort of put a little bit of Final Fantasy in something, it's like, oh yes, please, me like it, so I'm going to like it.
Everywhere you look.
They do seem to be, yeah, but that's goblins, yeah. I couldn't give a shit about goblins. Those weird-looking things over there might be a problem, although I think they're just arms. That's probably a Strigoi, so that's not a huge issue. I can see legs, but I think that's just goblins. So no, I don't think there's anything that spectacularly troublesome here. Oh, there is another secret path there. Oh, Final Fantasy II on the phone as well. Nice. I've got a couple of Final Fantasies on my phone, but none of like the proper ones. He says dismissively. Yeah, what are they? Although I did quite. Whoops! Now I've just started one. That's not. No, you slipped. My hand slipped. I don't want that. I don't want that phone. Please stop it. Yeah, I think the one I've definitely tried and quite enjoyed was Opera Omnia. Or was it? No, I think it was, because I think that's to do with Dissidia. So it's got the bravery and sort of HP and bravery attacks, which are quite interesting. The Dissidia formula, essentially, which was quite nice. And then I've also got XIII, which I think was quite nice. And I've also got the WoW TV FFBE, which I don't think I've played. And I don't know what any of those letters stand for. WOTV FFBE. No idea. I'm assuming the FF part is Final Fantasy, but that's about as much as I can guess from that. But they're the official sort of, they are mobile games, mobile ones, so they've got all the standard issues of mobile games, which is kind of, you know, we'd like you to pay. I know we gave it to you for free, but now you pay, please. Now pay us, please. Pay? Are you going to pay us? I'm not going to pay you. Oh. Can you pay us now? No. I don't want to. Oh. But if you want this chest, can you pay us now? No, I'm okay leaving the chest, thank you. Oh. So yeah, I tend to not pay out anything for these mobile games, which is lovely for me, terrible for the developers, I'm sure, but nonetheless, it was there. I mean, in fairness, it was their choice to make it free in the first place. But yeah, as I say, Opera Omnia, if it's the one I'm remembering, I'm fairly certain it is the Dissidia-based one, and it's quite nice because it's like the Dissidia games in terms of the sort of style of system it's got in place, but it's turn-based rather than the fighting style of Dissidia, and I quite liked it. I quite liked what they were laying down with that, and it's almost one of those ones where I'd like to see them potentially do that on a grander scale, because I'd love to see that battle system they had in that game end up as a larger, more emphatic and grander game, rather than sort of, you can get all the, like, if they did like a story mode and proper dedicated characters to the game, rather than, hey look, you can put your favourite Final Fantasy characters in, but pay us if you want the good ones. I'm not going to pay you. You can't have the good ones then. That's fine. I'll have the shit ones. In fairness, I think one of my teams was featured Squall, which pleased me. So, yeah, it's one of those ones where if I can have Squall, I'm pretty much happy. Pretty much happy in my days. Because I do quite like the sort of Dissidia style, melding all of the worlds together, but that system, it really felt like it's one of those games where I was looking at the system and it was like, God, this could be so much better. So much better. If you just made it bigger and bolder and awesome, it would be such a better game. But that's, you know, it's just the way I looked at that game. If they want to do it as a sort of mobile free-to-play one, I suppose that's their choice. But it just it felt like it had so much more potential if they just, you know, made it better. Which I suppose arguably is basically everything, really, isn't it? If I did better, I had more potential. If only I did better. I think that you can say that for everything. I enjoyed Dissidia. I've enjoyed all of the Dissidia games. It's a shame that the latest Dissidia, whose name escapes me, but nonetheless, the latest one, it's a shame that one kind of died on its arse before it even really got anywhere. Because it's really quite fun. But nowadays, I suppose you can get it for free, but I actually, you know, being such a Final Fantasy fan myself, I actually went ahead and sort of bought the collector's edition. And it was like, oh god, yes! And then it's like, oh, I was playing something else first, and it was like, oh, so I've left it a little bit of time, and now basically this entire game is dead. So, oh dear, whoops. And we have faced a Cactuar before. Although level 7, I don't know. Cactus Dance? I'm not entirely sure what it's going to do for me, but whatever it is, it's probably going to bad news bears. I have faced Cactuars before, and they've not done 1,000 needle or 10,000 needle, which was good. I don't know whether it's now going to start doing it, because it feels like maybe it's a bigger, nastier version. Are you immune to everything? I think you are. There's a couple of gaps, but I couldn't tell you what those were. But certainly, I mean, I definitely enjoyed playing as the villains more, simply because when you won as the villains, you got the bassier heavy metal of the victory theme, and that is, it's one of my favourites. In fact, I think, again, if you ever catch the timer again, I think you said you caught it last week, so you probably know. I'm fairly certain at the end of the timer, there is the Chaos victory theme from Dissidia Final Fantasy, because it is one of my favourite variations of the victory theme in existence today. So I can't deny Sephiroth. I'm a Sephiroth fanboy. I almost always go, if I'm going to be a villain, it's going to be Sephiroth. But in fairness, if you're going to be a villain, you might as well pick a good one, mightn't you? Although I can't deny, I do quite enjoy Jecht. Even though he's not... See, it's a bit of a weird one with Jecht, because of course, as Jecht, I don't know if he was really considered the villain of the piece, was he? Strictly speaking, if memory serves. Which it might not, but I suppose arguably he was the villain in Tidus's eyes, wasn't he? Because he left home and fucked off. But in terms of actual villainy, I don't think Jecht ever really did full villainy, despite in Dissidia being classified as a villain. But I suppose it makes for a convenient sort of Final Fantasy X. Here you go, enjoy. You can be Jecht because he's a character. But I suppose I suppose the problem is he doesn't really fall into the idea of being villain or good guy, because he wasn't hugely in the game, was he? Really, he's not one of the key. I mean, I suppose he was one of the key figures because he was, but not literally in the game as a key figure. He was like, I don't know. But XDef, I think, was the magical one, wasn't he? Big chunky armour, spiky shoulder pads, focused a lot on magic. Is that the one or am I misremembering? It's distinctly possible. In fact, arguably, most people would suggest it was distinctly probable. But nonetheless. Now this guy, I don't think we've faced off against one of these guys before. I feel like the slightly bluer crystalline legs is unfamiliar to me. There you go. A Pijavika! Let us scan the Pijavika. Oh, right. Focus was on counterattacks, wasn't it? Okay. I don't know if that's the one I'm thinking of or not. I think big blue armour definitely lines up. Maybe the focus on counterattacks was just not what I understood from him. But then again, I don't think I played him that often. I think I tended to, as I say, I tended to go Sephiroth. I mean, I fell into the trap of going for all the standard anime boys. Sephiroth, Cloud, Squall, and if I was feeling a bit fancy, I'd go Noctis, and if I was feeling super fancy, I'd go because I had Tifa, I think, as well. I had the sort of DLC characters, so Tifa was available for me, and some of the others. But as I say, I do remember quite enjoying Jekt, and I can't deny Tidus was quite fun because of the way his attacks flowed and the way he sort of moved around the battlefield. I think he was quite entertaining. I think Yuna was in it as well, and she was quite interesting because you had to be quite careful with her, of course, because she'd be able to. What was she? Am I misremembering? No, I'm fairly certain she was. I just can't quite remember how she played now. Gone completely. Oh well. I can't remember if she was sort of running a sort of gunnery type thing from 10-2 or more the summoner from 10. I think she was more the summoner from 10. So I think she must have had sort of more summony stuff, but as I say, I think you have to be careful because obviously she's not that strong, of course. That's why I tended to bias the big chunky boys who dealt shitloads of damage, i.e. Squall with a gun blade. You can't get better than a quick fit fitter, but you also can't get better than a gun blade. I suppose possibly 2 gun blades. My God, man, you've gone too far now. Too far by far. I think Snow. Yes, Snow I think was in it as well. I think I do remember playing as Snow, but it was his sort of Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns form of Snow, which was a bit sort of like, oh, I don't really want his Lightning Returns version. I want good Snow. I don't want the shit Snow that I don't like. I want good Snow. Can you give me good Snow, game? But I think it was extra. It was even more money if you wanted good Snow, because you had to pay for the bloody outfit, which was just like, no, you're okay there, game. You're okay. Right, I believe what I wanted to look into what that was. The Witch's Bracelet. Okay. Resist magic. I see. That's not the worst, but more a snow thing, if anything. But he's already got elemental resistances. And I kind of want to keep his... Well, I suppose arguably his health bar is... His health bar's quite chunky as is, but... No, I think I might leave it. Laguna was in it. I don't remember Laguna being there. I don't know whether that's just my memory or... Maybe I didn't unlock him. Because I can't help but think he was DLC as well, was he not? But yeah, I imagine I would have biased Laguna, because basically I would bias any Final Fantasy VIII character, essentially. Because I think, was Rinoa in there? I feel like Rinoa might have ended up making an appearance as well. That I might have made up. Would have been quite nice to have seen Zell in it, but I suppose arguably Zell would have ended up playing pretty much exactly the same as Tifa would have played, because mechanically they tended to be almost exactly the same as far as I recall. They were both fist fighters that summoned, you know, weird and wonderful things. No Rinoa, okay, interesting. Why do I remember Rinoa being in it then? I do not know. Oh well, never mind. Do do splashity splashity splash. La da 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 da. I must go back to it because every now and again it's one of those games that I quite like to just dip into. Because it didn't. It did have a storyline, but it was awkward getting to the bits and pieces of the storyline. Because I think what they were hoping for was they were hoping for, hey, here's a sort of storyline. Ah, yes. I remember Lightning, Varn, Yuna. For some reason, I don't remember Laguna. I do remember Tifa as well. But yeah, I don't remember Laguna. Right, anyway, where do we want to go? There's a treasure chest spinning around here somewhere, I think. Not sure where. Might be in there. Or I might be making that up. My ears have gone funky. I do not know. Oh, hello. Get back up here. Just sounded like he was having too much fun. He generally did, in fairness, didn't he? And he had one of the best theme songs around, and was... It was almost a shame on some occasions, because it did feel like... Oh, we've ended up running the circle. Well, that's convenient-ish. Right, what are we doing? Yeah, I think what we'll try and do... Might be worthwhile trying to do the teleportation one first, because that'll give me easy access back here. Oh, take down the goblin. I did wonder if it was a lone goblin, but no, there's a whole bunch more friends hiding around the corner. But yeah, I think with the latest Dissidia one, what they were hoping for was the idea of going, okay, it'll be really popular online, so what we'll do is we'll have them have to earn stuff by doing the fights, but people will want to do that because they were wanting to go online and play the game online and stuff, but then the online mode was completely and utterly dead because nobody really wanted the game, it would seem. So you ended up having to just keep fighting against the AI in order to earn your way through the storyline. So it was slightly disappointing in that sense, because it takes quite some time, if memory serves. I still haven't actually made it through the storyline of the game, so that's how long it takes. Because, as I say, I tend to just dabble in it every now and again, because I'm not... As much as I love Final Fantasy, and as much as I do play a variety of fighting games, I'm not a huge fighting game fan. It doesn't tend to keep my interest as long as other game titles tend to do. Although, if you're interested, I was playing Mortal Kombat 11 on my YouTube channel. Exclamation YouTube. Feel free to check that out. I still haven't finished it, but that's not the point. Feel free to check it out. So yeah, I did play Mortal Kombat 11, which was quite fun. Story mode in Mortal Kombat is always very, very good. But yeah, Dissidia didn't quite... It never quite made any traction, which is a shame. Because I get the impression we're probably not going to get another Dissidia. Which, you know... I would like to see them do another Dissidia, but I would like to see them do it better in a lot of ways. Like, I would like to see like a proper dedicated story, a bit like Mortal Kombat, where you go, if you just want to go, I want to play the story mode, you can just play the story mode, and you are just sort of, you're running around perhaps in order. Oh, I do need a chocobo for that. Oh, I don't need a chocobo for the first bit though. That's fair enough. And plus my chocobo is, in fairness, just at the entrance, so it's not exactly a huge distance away, but I didn't realise I would require a chocobo here. Didn't know I needed a chocobo. Oh, Vanille has been imperiled. I can't say that makes any fuss for me. I couldn't give a shit about it. I might give a shit about it now, because I spy with my little eye something beginning with arrow blades, or whatever the fuck, wind blades I think they're called, but either way, it looks like an elemental attack. So if it hits Vanille, of course, it's now going to be a weakness on her. But, weaknesses in this aren't necessarily that troublesome. Not as troublesome as something like Persona, or any Shin Megami Tensei game, because, of course, the weakness in those really trashes you. You get caught by a weakness in Shin Megami Tensei and you lose several turns and you lose the battle most of the time. Not so bad, but nonetheless, I have had some particularly negative experiences with Shin Megami Tensei in the past, with the whole, oh, we just happened to hit your weakness. Hee. Now we're fucking you up. Bastard games. Just yield to my will to win. No, we shall never yield to you. You are scum. God damn it. Never played Shin Megami Tensei! I mean, strictly speaking, then, you have played a Shin Megami Tensei, because I'm fairly certain Persona is encompassed within Shin Megami Tensei, although they have dropped. I think they have, since about Persona 2, 3 maybe, something like that, along those lines, they have dropped the Shin Megami Tensei sort of 4 title, I suppose. I don't know what you call it. But I'm fairly certain, traditionally and originally, even the Persona games were Shin Megami Tensei Persona. But they are also a separate thing from their own thing. But yeah, Shin Megami Tensei, you've got Shin Megami Tensei as a series by itself. Then you've got Devil Summoner, I think. Then you've got Persona. Then you've got Digital Devil Saga was definitely one of them. Although that was, I believe that was only 2 games, the Digital Devil Saga. I played the first one, and I'm fairly certain I completed the first one, but never quite got to buy the second one, because it's kind of disappeared. And I am interested in getting the remake of Shin Megami Tensei 3, because that's one of those games, that's another one of those, I suppose, actually, you wouldn't know this, but I discussed in a video over, I think it was it was the Advent calendar I did a couple of years back, where it was sort of like, okay, I have certain games that are like my white whales that I've never quite been able to conquer. And Shin Megami Tensei 3, I'm fairly certain, was one of those white whales, along with the one I played in the Advent calendar, which was Unlimited Saga, which is a troublesome one. Unlimited Saga is a troublesome one. I don't know whether you've ever played Unlimited Saga, but it is what it is, and what it is a troublesome little truck. And it does not like to yield. Oh, good, it's very close. That is exceedingly handy game. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you making it easy. Easy for me. But yeah, basically all Shin Megami Tensei games have that same system that you would have found in Persona 4 and 5, which is if you get hit by a weakness, you're fucked. I.e., the enemies get a bonus turn, and it does a huge amount of damage, and you get sort of staggered. All of the stuff you would know from Persona 4 and 5 is kind of the Shin Megami Tensei formula. Devil Summoner, I remember being an exceptionally good game, but it does sort of deviate from their formula slightly because it's more action-orientated, I think, rather than the turn-based stuff, which is quite nice. It made for a nice change. Could you not do that? Are you? Is the Seeker my actual? No, Pulsework Champion. No, I think that's just an ordinary Pulsework Champion. It's best to get rid of the arms first, I feel. And Digital Devil Saga, again, I would possibly highly recommend that one as well if you can lay your hands on it nowadays, because that was an enjoyable one. Nicely sort of dark, and I mean, most Shin Megami Tensei games do feature that idea of, I'm a little schoolchild. What's this? I have phenomenal demonic power within me. A la Personas. Because I'm fairly certain that's what the Digital Devil what the fuck did I call it? Digital Devil Saga? Yeah, I think it's that. But it's all to do with devils and summonings and stuff. And it's all very enjoyable. Whoa, 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 whoa there. Whoa, slow your roll. Pulsework Champion. Nobody needs this in their life. Nobody needs this. You are doing surprisingly well, but I suppose arguably I haven't cracked you open yet. Once I crack you open, I should be able to get to your juicy bits inside. I'm gonna get your juicy bits. Gonna get your juicy bits going. Come on. Now I got your juicy bits open, baby. Although I'm doing surprisingly little damage for having exposed his juicy bits. So I wonder if maybe this is the target and he is a super powerful version. But it does look... Not sure about your choice of using Aurora. See, Blizzara feels like it makes more sense, but I don't know. What do I know? Absolutely nothing. That's what I do. Do. But certainly, Digital Devil Saga I might try and do on SaturJay RPG, depending on how long SaturJay RPG lasts, of course. Because oh, that was the mission. Oh, well, that's handy. I mean, it was a 0 star, but it's still a mission complete. So arguably, you can just take it. But there are so many. There are many RPGs that I want to do. I know I'm leaning a little bit towards the idea of doing Legaia 2, but I'm also leaning quite heavily towards doing Shadow Hearts 2, and I'm also leaning towards doing one of the Tales games. But mostly because I've been playing Berseria, so I wouldn't mind having a look on some of the others. Again, going back to some of them. So it's all sort of like, there's so many, and they take so long. They take so much time that it's kind of like, it will probably take me many years, and I don't know how long, one of those things where it's difficult to know precisely how long SaturJay RPG will last, considering you never quite know how your life will change for better and for worse, perhaps. So can't make any guarantees of getting anywhere on any of the super long RPGs that I have in mind, because of course I also have in mind doing Final Fantasy 13 2, Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns, and Final Fantasy 15. And that's not discussing all the other Final Fantasies I wouldn't mind doing again, and all the Dragon Quests I wouldn't mind doing. Ah, Christ. Japan, could you ease off on making good JRPGs? I know there's very difficult for them to ease off on making good JRPGs. They are the originator of the JRPG, but nonetheless, if you ask nicely, they might give me a few years leeway so that I don't have a immense back catalogue to try and get through. But yeah, I think I got part way through Persona 4, never got around to finishing it. Mostly because, again, me and Persona 4 had a bit of a falling out owing to the boss just not wanting to yield to its demise. Which is, I mean, in fairness, that is the norm for me in a game when we fall out. It's usually over a boss that just will not yield. I think it was one of those ones where it felt like, I think I'm going to have to go train here, aren't I? And it was like, I don't really want to. So other things kind of came in and distracted me. I think Like a Dragon might have come out, which kind of trumped everything. I'm quite pleased it trumped everything. And then towards the end of me having done... Oh, I've gone the wrong way because I forgot you don't actually have to report back to the Seath Stone, do you? Let's do this internal one first, because we don't need the Chocobo for it. But then, I think, yeah, just prior to me finishing off Yakuza Like a Dragon, Persona 5 Strikers came out, and I've been sort of pretty much chipping away at that constantly as part of my general gaming doings. I've been chipping away at Persona 5 Strikers, which has been very enjoyable for the most part. So it's another one that tends to shit all over your hopes of actually winning a fight, which can be problematic when you want to win the fight. And sometimes it feels oddly insulting, some of the items you get, where it's like, here, this item will heal 10 HP. I have to heal 500 HP, game! How is a 10 HP going to help me? I need fuck tons of them. I need 50 of these. Please stop taking the piss with your low healing items. I think it might just be because I've got a load of them left over, but from the beginning of the game. But nonetheless, it is like, oh, for fuck's sake, these items are doing nothing for me, game. Nothing. Please stop hitting me so hard. That's the other thing, of course. It's like, you think you've dodged something and then 6 other things hit you and strip your health bar in seconds. Which is frustrating. Frustrating indeed. But that doesn't stop it being absolutely fantastic game. Very entertaining so far. And just as good as... I think it's lived up to the Persona 5 storyline. I think it's a little bit more sort of... well, no, I stand by that phrase. It's lived up. It's lived up to them. Like Wheels of Cheese. Yeah. potentially. I can't. Yeah, I will take your word for that fact. But yeah, and I don't know. But to a certain extent, well, you can get other items from the other shops, but that's not the point. The point is, you need a dairy's worth of cheese. Yeah, that is almost exactly it. They show off all of these sort of little tiny sort of foodstuffs, and you go, all right, I'll buy those. And then when you're actually in a battle, you suddenly realise that all the foodstuffs you've bought, fucking pointless, because they are absolutely useless. Because it's like, you've got 3 of them. Hey, you nil 30 HP. That still leaves me with a deficit of 400 odd. Please, give me stuff I can use. Which it doesn't like to do. I have been charged with putting down a stray adamantialid that wanders the steppes' eastern tors, no doubt seeking its lost parents. What kind of monster could perform such a deed? Not a day goes by I don't recall the pain of losing my own child to a rampaging beast. Would I now subject other parents to that fate? No, I forsake my focus. The cycle of suffering ends here. Well, it doesn't end for me, because I'm going to go kick the shit out of whatever you decided not to. Although I do think this might be one of the chunky chaps, which I feel like could end up being a problem, because I don't feel confident going against one of the chunky chaps. But it is mission 33, so it feels like it should be within my wheelhouse. But we shall see. First thing we have to do is get to it, which unfortunately does mean a little bit of backtracking. A little bit of backtracking in your life. A little bit of backtracking all night long. A little bit of backtracking will not hurt. A little bit of backtracking, well, it might. If the backtracking causes you to drop your controller on your foot, and then a little bit of backtracking will actually hurt a lot. Surprisingly difficult to sing Mambo number 5, because I'm fairly certain that was Mambo number 5 I was doing. Surprisingly difficult to sing that with the Chocobo theme in your ears. A little bit of Angela, a little bit of Monica as well. Let's have some of Molly and maybe even Jessica. I'm just now naming female names that I can think of, because I can't remember the song. High morale, the highest morale a Chocobo can have. Ooh, but if you haven't played Persona 5 Strikers, I would recommend it if you're a fan of Persona 5, because as I say, it really does. It basically kind of brings all of the good stuff of Persona 5 in a slightly new variation of fighting system. Now, I'm slightly biased because I do enjoy the Koei Tecmo fighting style stuff that they put forth, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong. Just because I'm biased doesn't mean I'm wrong. Yeah, see, I think this little thing in front of me is going to be the Adamantialid, which is the little baby. A little baby. I don't know whether I'm going to get the back attack. Oh, also I need to get off the Chocobo. Still have the non-magical slice of life gameplay as well. Not quite as much. It doesn't emphasise the idea of you sort of wandering around, going to school, reading books and stuff. It's more focused on the combat side of things. You still have a certain amount of sort of out in the overworld, but you do find yourself most of the time you are just exploring the sort of metaverse type areas. I'll try and be as elusive to facts and details as possible. I think we're definitely going to want a little bit of bully here. I'm probably going to want some healing as well, because I think it is just it's basically it does a stomp. It does a stomp, but it fucks us up every time. Okay. I don't. Trip it up. I don't have a solution for this, because basically, if Vanille can't heal us more than it can stamp us, I don't know how I think what we'll do is we'll try and get some more buffs on. They are a weird creature. Because if you now I'm up close and personal, you can see they're they seem to be like a cross between a slug. The eye is ever so slightly chameleon, I think it looks like. There's an element of chameleon, an element of slug, and an element of tortoise to the Adamantulid. What could we do to make this game better? I don't know. Adaman? Gelid? Adajealous man? On a lid? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but whatever it is, it's absolute horseshit. Okay, have I actually cut... Obviously I'm defending, but have I actually sort of... Okay, that's not helpful, game, that's not helpful. But you carrying on with that is reasonably helpful. Oh dear, come on, we need you to blizzard us again. Or heal us, rather, sorry. I was thinking the fact that I was using blizzard spells, I got distracted and the word misplaced itself in my brain. Right, I wouldn't mind a bit of bully, unless, can we just confirm, yeah, okay, it doesn't have immunity to everything. Yes, D-Shell, that is going to help us a lot, Vanille. D-Protect, good girl, let's get to diversity and kick the crap out of this small baby child. I don't care, I don't care, you may be a baby. You may be a baby, but I'm gonna kill you anyway. You may be a baby, but I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. Are you healing off of something, or is that... No, that is snow. I was just seeing the green number keep coming up there. It just felt like it was actually the Adamantulid that was actually healing there, but it's not. It's Vanille doing it to snow. Which, in fairness, is exactly what I require. That's what I need. Yeah, we got this, haven't we? EA Sports. It's in the bag. Yes, punchy, 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 spelly, spelly. As opposed to that time where I punched someone and he smellied. Yeah! I feel strong having beaten up a small child. But I say small child, it's a fucking huge child, but it's still a child. But I still feel strong. I still feel like I abused a small child. Not in that way. Your party has earned the rank of Adamantine Knight. Yes, that's what you get when you beat up children. You earn titles. That's what we like. It's what we like to see. I'm not going after the daddy, though, because the daddy will just decimate me with one footstep. But it's good to know that I can now take on children. See, this is... You were mentioning earlier how it's, Grand Pulse is difficult. This is basically how you end up gauging it. It's, have you insta-killed me? Oh, I see. No, thank you. And if they don't insta-kill you, you know you can beat them the next time. Which is not the world's greatest of... It's not the best of the best methods, is it? But still, it's the only one you've really got on Grand Pulse, because it is just... Such an annoying place to a certain extent. Big chunky boy having a little walkie. Walkies with the chunky boy. Chunky walkies. Walkies with chunkies. As opposed to chunky chocolate, which is a Yorkie, not a walkies. Just spew words. It helps. I don't know what it helps with, but there you go. You never know when you'll stumble upon a combination of words that actually makes sense and is amusing, but there you go. I suppose technically I might have been able to use a teleport out there somewhere, but I think, in fairness, just running it with a chocobo was probably the most efficient. Why? I'll tell you what, we're about halfway through. Oh, I can't without getting off the chocobo. I suppose arguably there's a chocobo over there, so we can dismount. Whoop, okay. Or we can't dismount. One of the two. Dismount. Thank you. Dismount. Dismount. Dismount of mine. It's dismounting. I have dismounting to climb. I don't know how I'm going to. Right, my instinct is let's have Fang. Let's have a little bit of what you like, and what you like is Fang. A little bit of what you like, and what you like is Fang. And then shall we Let's not go the full swap. We'll just trade in for the boy. Because the boy can cover... the boy's probably going to mostly cover our medical needs. Relentless Assault at the top, please. That's the one. And now this one we want to be Commando, Ravager and Medic. That's it. Diversity, marvellous. Conservation, double Sentinels. I don't think I've ever run anything with a double Sentinel. That's an interesting one. I didn't actually mean to do. That was supposed to be Synergist. Although, having said that, no, you might be better off as a Synergist and you as the Commando. Yeah, for Bully. Bully usually sits there. What usually sits here? Sentinel. Sentinel and a Medic, right? Yeah, Solidarity, that's it. And now here... Commando, Ravager, Synergist. Decimation there, and then this one... Probably... what was the one I was using previously? Synergist and Medic. That was it. Protection, yeah. Yeah, it looks good for now. I might end up changing my mind. And, I suppose I should perhaps consider running around as someone other than Fang, but I like Fang. I like Fang. She doesn't like you. Oh, stupid Cactua. Get the fuck out of my road. Why did the Cactua cross the road? Because it was being a pain in the arse. And in fairness, if it fired 1,000 needles up your backside, it would really be a pain in the arse, wouldn't it? Lightning Hope Vanille had better luck than I thought, swapping rapidly between Rav 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 and Med Med Med. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I mean, certainly, I know, theoretically, I can understand that Ravager 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 would be very good on the stagger meter. But I do still feel you do need that sort of commando element to just slow it down in case you can't quite keep up with the dropping of the meter. But theoretically, if you've got 3 Ravagers, you can possibly just overwhelm. You can literally just overwhelm the bastard thing. Can we? Whoop, okay, we can just jump over there. That's fine. Yep, I know your morale is slightly fuckered, but that's fine. It's fine. Ignore it. It's not a problem. There we go. That's what... Oh, hello. What are you... Oh, I see. You're loading the Chocobo, tossing me off. Which is going to be very uncomfortable with those claws, isn't it? Now, let's see what this is. Is it another 30? Are you in the 30s or are you up in 40s? 34? The Zenobia the Butcher. Oh my. The undying, fearsome cease who defy fallacy will, driven by an intense loathing of all that lives. Zenobia. The Butcher is of their number, and I of her line, but I go now to stay her blade, as my father and his father before him had once attempted. The Butcher's den is in the old Hyeri Archaeopolis, at the northern edge of the steppe. There, at the scene of her foulest atrocities, I will expunge her taint, and restore my family's honour. Yes, take a sponge to the taint. It needs it. So hang on. Before do a commando, synergist, and sab to set up and stabilise the stagger meter. Interesting. Oh, are you? Hello. Is my star here? Are you my star? Oh yeah. Cool. Well, that makes it easier to find. The writhing tentacles of doom. Ooh. It's horrible, isn't it? Nasty little tree plant type. Oh, hello. I thank you? Or are you going to be a bastard? I feel like he's going to be a bastard. Am I going to have to fight a Mr. Tombury? Hello. Thank you. Oh, no. No, he's coming at me. No. No, Mr. Tombury. No, Mr. Tombury. Stay there. Stay away. Well, I mean, I fell for that. Hook, line, and sinker. I was not expecting a Tombury. Okay, well, let's scan the Tombury and regret all of my life decisions in terms of changing my party makeup. Because... That's a Tombury. Let's get some bully. Bully! Bully, bully, bully! A little bit of bully in your life, a little bit of bully up your wife. Why would you put bully up your wife? I don't know, I was panicking. Right, okay, we should be able to get back to a little bit of relentless assault. Oh dear, the grudging look. That's... I've got a feeling I'm going to regret pummeling the shit out of it in a moment or two. Okay, the knife was not too bad at the moment. But then they do have a tendency... They kind of turn your damage against you. Yeah, Brooding Grudge, if memory serves, is the one that sort of will fuck me up. Okay, and that's not too bad again. I mean, ultimately, I have to do damage, so it's not like I can stop that. I loved all of the summons in Final Fantasy VIII. I think Final Fantasy VIII might have had some of the most unique and interesting summons that the game has ever put forth. I could do some... Did I not get... I was going to say... Kid? Synergist. Okay, Imminent Grudge. Okay, that's concerning. Let's get some protection, because I don't like the sound of Imminent Grudge. Right, we've got protection down. We've got knife. I've just been knifed, but the Mediguard seemed to hold fast. Okay. Hope, will you synergize? Oh, no, it's Zaz synergizing now. Zaz, get on with the synergy. Fuck's sake, mate. Well, I think one of my favourites, partially because of the name, partially because it was... I mean, it lived up to the name, in fairness. It really did. Oh, I think he is actually removing my buffs, which is inconvenient. There we go. Fuck off, Tombury. Fuck off. That was a lot easier than most Tomburys, in fairness. Most Tomburys would not go down quite so easily, I don't think, but nonetheless, we managed it. Chocobo Plume. I'm not entirely sure what Chocobo Plume is going to do for me. So I'll have a look in the inventory and find out. The Hermes Sandals. Ooh. Your party has earned the rank of Curse Lifter. Anyway, my favourite summon in Final Fantasy VIII was Doom Train. The train of doom is coming for you. Choo choo, motherfucker, choo choo. Okay, so it could be an accessory. Hermes Sandals, that makes sense. Casts haste when HP is low. To be honest, I'd prefer to rely on a synergist, despite the fact that the synergists felt useless. Chocobo Plume is another sort of object, possibly going to be a good to sell one, maybe. Although I haven't said that, it appears to be... I can't see it. Chocobo Plume. It doesn't appear... Oh, it's over here, so... Actually, no, it's up there in the sort of... It might actually be worthwhile sticking in a weapon. Stick a little feather on the side of your weapon. That's what you need. But yeah, well, I mean, well... Oh, I can't get up there without a chocobo. Oh, fucking... Dickheads, game. Dickheads. There we go. Get up there and go grab a chocobo. Assuming that... Is there not a chocobo? Are you... Game. 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 You're making me grumbly, game. You're making me grumbly. There's no chocobo here. You're going to force me to go back on myself to go get a chocobo in order to go back on myself, or because I had to face off against a Tombury. You're making me grumbly again, game, with the backing and forwarding that you'll demand, game. Please stop with the back and forth. I mean, I don't mind playing the game, so it's not that much of a deal, but nonetheless, it's still a slightly annoying thing. Just a little bit of convenience. Just a little bit of convenience would make it a little bit better. Like having chocobos more regular. Or just having gone, here's a chocobo flute. You can summon the chocobo whenever you fancy. I must admit, I hadn't intended to say chocobo. It just sort of, my general mumblage took over there. But give your little choco flute a little chocoblow, and then you can enjoy the company of a chocobo. Do-do-do-do-do-do. And if you wish to decorate it, put a little chocobo on it. But chocobo spelt with a W. Doesn't really work just hearing it out loud. That one only really works when written down. Do-do-do. Ah, there was never any doubt. The only doubt we ever had was when we were going against the Tombre. Also, one of the things I quite liked in Final Fantasy VIII summons was the evolution of the summon, where, and this may be a spoiler, but I think you've played Final Fantasy VIII enough, but anybody who's not played Final Fantasy VIII specifically, who's in the chat, do feel free to block your ear rolls. But Odin, of course. Now, who did he turn into? Bloody mind's gone blank on who he actually turned into, but I'll take the plants on, why not? Bit of Triffid nostalgia. I remember when you were hard. You're not anymore. Was it? Oh god, I can't think of the name. No, it's gone. But nonetheless, Odin. If you have the summon Odin, when you go up against Cypher, I believe, he pops up at the beginning, of course, and goes, I am going to... Oh, you sliced me in half, Mr. Cypher. You alarmingly strong. And then, of course, I don't remember if it happens in the battle or whether it's after the battle or something. Nonetheless, he evolves from being Odin into another form. It's not even his final form. He evolves to the new bloke, whose name... so he's completely gone. Completely gone, but never mind. But I liked that. I don't think anywhere has really done that sort of thing. And they certainly never did it again after Final Fantasy VIII. The idea of your summons evolving into something new and something further and something better through some scenario. Because even these sort of transforming summons, they transform, yes, but they are still the same entity. Whereas that one, as I say, completely brand new rebrand. You know, he went to the HR department, or PR department rather, and got himself a brand new look and a brand new name. Doodle doo doodle doo. Let's do a cheeky little save right now. That's what you do when they give you a save. I'll say a point. Oh yes, it's what you do. Now let's find out what was hidden behind what is now going to be known as the Tonberry barrier. What was behind my Tonberry? My Tonberry barrier, I don't know. Oh, I suppose, yeah, the Chocobo's going to throw me off again. So, oh, God, game. God damn it, game. You made me come all the way here on a Chocobo, then you threw me off. Then I activated the Seath Stone, so I didn't have the Chocobo. Then I got off the Chocobo to get... Then I went down to fight the Tonberry. Then I had to go all the way back to get a fucking Chocobo, only to come all the way back here to be able to leap up there for the Chocobo to throw me off. So inefficient. So inefficient. And I can't... There's no real justification for it, other than they're, you know, trying to bloat their sort of playtime in the worst sort of artificial fashion. I don't necessarily mind some of the sort of backing and forthing, but sometimes when they start with the whole go get a Chocobo, oh now you can't have a Chocobo, but you needed the Chocobo to get up to the area you're not allowed a Chocobo in, it starts getting a bit sort of piss-takey. Well, this is another new area, in fairness. Although weirdly, the quest is apparently over here. Which the quest is definitely not over here, but it would be very interesting to find out what this is. Oh, hello. Us, probably.
Chews up one species and spits out another.
Oh. Alright, bit rude, mate. You don't even know us.
What's it saying? The weak don't even deserve to live?
I mean, that is basically what he said, yeah. Keep up, lad.
We're not exactly weak, are we?
There's weak, and there's fucking enormous bloke. Yeah? We might not be weak, but equally, we're not fucking enormous bloke. Okay, the Titan's Trials. I vaguely remember this now. Here you may face off against a series of powerful adversaries who will test the limits of your fighting prowess. Guess what? The limits of my fighting prowess are quite short. If you manage to emerge victorious from 4 consecutive battles, you may then continue on to face one of Titan's final challenges. Upon completing each battle, 2 Seath Stones will appear. Each offers you a choice of your next opponent. Defeat that opponent and you will earn a reward. Succeed in overcoming the final challenge after winning all 4 battles, and you earn a special reward and be returned here. Be warned, however, that the enemies you will face are extremely powerful. Do not challenge them unless you are sure you are ready. You can return here at any time by touching one of the golden Seath Stones you will find scattered along the trail. If you are certain you wish to proceed, touch the Seath Stone up ahead and begin the Titan Trials. It's the Titan Trials now. Oh my god. Can I win them? The spoiler alert. The answer's very much no, but we'll have a fucking go, sirree. But, oh, there we go, we found number 35. Now, whether we can find all the rest of them or not, I don't know. But anyway, this is a Gurungatch, is the gateway to this path. Go for it, go on, why not? So I'm assuming you're going to take me just straight into battle there? Yes, I think you're teleporting me along the path. Then I battle a thing, and then I can teleport back or forward. But I suspect the Gurungatch, we're probably good enough. The rest, not so convinced, but we'll see. I'll tell you what we'll do. I was going to save it until the very end, but seems as I'm going into full challenge mode, I think it wise, perhaps. Now, did we feel like doing... Oh, I think we've already done it. Okay, fair enough. Saboteur, no, I think Commando, unless we've got not many left. No, we've got some Commandos left, so we must have done the Sentinel path last week. So we're doing partial Commandos. Only partial Commandos. I've got half a pair of underpants on. How do you wear half a pair of underpants? With great difficulty. Oh, watch my strength rise. Unfortunately, it sort of stopped immediately, so it didn't rise as much as was advertised there, I don't think. Synergist for you, sir. Oh no, we did Synergist. Yes, we did. So what was I focusing on? Ravager, I would think. Yeah, he's usually better Ravager than anything else, especially if he's in a party with Fang. I can't deny, I am slightly tempted. I might go back to Vanille. I feel like the boy might be a detriment to this situation here. Although, I don't know. They're suitably close in power that I don't necessarily... I can't say for absolute certain that he's going to be a liability, but... all of those are done, so we will focus on Medic at the moment. Because it's going to be the most useful of his traits as it stands. With the bibbidi bee, and then a bibbidi boo with a shoopity bee. Alright, snowy cliff tops. You are going to be Sentinel, which I suspect, as can be confirmed there, is done. So we shall ravage. If you ravage, have a ravaging good time. A ravaging good time. A ravaging good time too. Ooh, plus 230 HP. That is a nice boost. Plus 100, not quite as nice a boost, but they're still quite hefty. You really do. I feel like at this late stage, you are still. It's quite nice that you are still feeling the improvements to their stats. I think because I suppose they've buffed them all up. But you know, strength 30 feels like it's a decent upgrade. Magic 19 feels a bit annoying because it's like, really? Really? Why number 19? Can't you give it evens, please? But I suppose that's a little OCD coming in, I suppose, isn't it? The love of even numbers. Never have an odd number on your volume. Never have an odd number on your volume. Unless it's a 5. 5s are okay. You for some reason. Arbitrary weird rules that I have. You can have anything on an even number, and you can have anything that's divisible by 5. But anything else, no. Any other number is evil. Evil numbers. Saboteur, please. Yes, carry on sabotaging. Death. Death to all, and to all a good death. You never know, maybe some of these big boss creatures will be weak to death. I laugh heartily at the joke that would be. As I mentioned last week, I do have a slight bias and issue, shall we say, against bloody... yeah, let's get Vanille in there, I think, because she's going to be better. Solidarity, we want lower, and then this one, Commander Ravage, Medic, and then we want to get some bullying going on, Sonojost, Saboteur, Bully, yeah, Bully can stay there, Sentinel, Synergist, Medic, and then I don't know. Probably something Commando best for you. Didn't know I had him as a medic. I don't necessarily want him as a medic. Maybe Ravager and Saboteur. Ruthless, in case I've got enough synergy on the go, but not 100% convinced by that. Yeah, no, protection was the other one, but I wonder if maybe the emergency button that is Combat Clinic, because sometimes it can be useful to just stall the battle for a moment or two while you get your health bars back, but difficult to know for absolute certain. that last one often sort of just has that little bit of with it. It's like, I don't know. I just don't know what to do with the thing. I just don't know what to do with my thing. Well, if you don't know what to do with your thing, I suggest you keeping your thing to yourself. That's fair. That is fair. Do we have information? Yes, we do. Very helpful. Alright, do we have... that first attack, did we die? That's crucial information. In more ways than one. Imperiled! Good girl, Vanille. Good girl. That's what we like to see now. Just get a few more boofs going. Get a couple more Sheila boofs in this house. Now we get some ruination and some more stuff trying to just boost up to the staggerometer. Oh yes, the staggerometer needs to rise, my pretty. Rise. Rise up. Yes, not quite there yet, but good enough. Oh yes. He's a naked lizard. He's a naked little lizard man. He's a little lizard that is naked, man. I didn't really ask for a little lizard that's naked, but I got one. I'm saying he's good on Gatcher at this rate. Oh, that was disappointing. Mission complete. Nice. 1 star, not so nice, but nonetheless, mission complete. Superb. Right. Well, since we've not done any of these paths, I suppose arguably we might as well just head down the path I'm heading down. It doesn't make too much difference. We're going down to the B2, which would be the Rafflesia. Souls are wrought of shadow or of light, harmony of a balance between the two. Rejoin the harmonious circle, feed the insatiable appetite of the Rafflesia, here at the source of light's flow. Fairly certain Rafflesias tend to be plant-based, don't they? Not that that helps in this scenario, because there's not... I suppose arguably he might be weak to fire, or it might be weak to fire, which would be plant-style stuff, but there's not quite as... Oh, no, it's one of the little worm slugs. Oh, this should be a piece of piss then. Oh, I say that. I say that knowing full well it's probably not going to be a piece of piss. We've never fought a Rafflesia before, so we don't know precisely what it's going to have up its sleeve, but as long as it's nothing... I feel like it's not going to be... Oh, okay. Oh, no, okay. I was going to say, it didn't look like we did any damage to the health bars the first time. Oh, it's actually blocking something. Interesting. Why? What? Could you maybe not use the elements it's blocking, game? Because that's not my choice, game. That's you doing that. What? How is it? What is it blocking? Who is it blocking? How is it blocking? Because I appear to be using fire. Flame strike. Yeah, flame strike makes sense, right? Flame strike should be fine. Normal strikes are fine. Flame strike, fine. Fire. Oh, shit, I've just seen it. Yes, now I understand. Okay, it's immune to magic. And unfortunately, I don't think Vanille has any strike-based stuff. So at this point in time, Vanille might as well drop into Medic, because she is currently utterly useless. As I say, I'm fairly certain the reason why she's only using her magic is she doesn't have any strikes, which is a bit of a shame. But I think the other two should be capable, especially with a perma medic. It might take me a bit of time, and sure, my rank, my star gauge is going to be atrocious, I'm sure. But it's kind of whatever gets you through the battle is a win. I don't know why I was quite so darkened. It looked like I actually had a status ailment. I suppose maybe it's just the effect of its attack, but. It looked more like it was supposed to. I know you actually got 5 stars, didn't I? I just realised. There's me suggesting I wouldn't be able to get 5 stars. But yeah, that was quite an easy one. I suppose. Let's just try going down again. Or I say down again, I mean, technically it's going this way, but by down I mean down on the sort of split graph thing they show. Depends on what this is. If it sounds like a super intimidating enemy, it might be like, no, maybe not then. But yeah, I don't know. 40, mission 40, I don't know. Maybe I can do it. Effulgence, like to sunlight, reveals a truth that no unknowing eye might see. The illusions we name boundaries are but challenges to overcome. Overcome the challenge of the Verdelay, and an undeniable truth shall be divulged. I feel like we've faced a Verdelay. The name Verdelay doesn't strike intimidation into me, which means I'm going to have a go. I'm going to come and have a go, because I think I might be hard enough. Whether I am officially hard enough or not, I don't know, but we might as well save it, because we can come out of here. The golden teleport behind me will take me back to the beginning whenever I fancy. So we might as well just pop along, Cassidy, and start nibbling at people, eating their blood. Because Cassidy was a vampire, if you're interested. In the series, well, as I say series, it was a comic book first. But in the TV series, Preacher, he was a vampire. And quite an entertaining character. Right, do we have any information? You. And you said the Verdelays were easy. I mean, I did. Technically, I was right, though. We clearly have faced off against Verdelays before. And they are actually surprisingly easy, but I suppose they are summoning potentially more Verdelays, or I think actually it's summoning something nastier. Yes, I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it's certainly bigger than a Verdelay. Okay, sealing its magic. That's a hell of a good thing. That's something we can definitely get behind. Now a quick little blitz, and now we just have to deal with the Mushusu. And I think we can deal with the Mushusu. I think this was a very easy fight. Oh, we've not even changed out a bully. My god. So Fang's basically been doing most of that work by herself. That is how good Fang is. I think I love Fang. I thought you liked snow. Yes. But Fang. Fang. She's proving incredibly good. The Zealot's Amulet. What, pray tell, does a Zealot's Amulet do? Mix that with the fact that she's also down an accessory because she's using the bloody collector catalog. Makes her even more awesome. Oh, Vigilance when HP's low. Couldn't give a shit, son. Couldn't give a shit. Right, said Fred. Well, he couldn't give a shit. We'll... I don't know. That one's closer, but we'll carry on this way because I think, again, this is going to lead me... This is basically going to lead me the lowest bottom path along the graph thing they showed me at D4, which actually probably isn't the best of choices because I think this is going to be... If I'd gone A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, that would have been the easiest path. I think I've chosen the hardest path. Which I suppose, arguably, if I can win the hardest path, that's going to kind of make me go, I can probably win the rest of them then. Divine love flows within the waters, purifying all creation. Yes, I gave that excuse in court as well, but they still fined me for wanking in the river. A corrosive custard stands... That's what they described it as well. How very coincidental. A corrosive custard stands amidst the chaos, cleansing stagnation within the flow, ready to decide your fate. Face its judgment. If you insist, I will face your corrosive custard. Which is... I think that's basically the upgraded version of the rust pudding. I've upgraded my rust pudding, and it's become a corrosive custard. Or maybe, actually, I suppose what you would do is you'd serve up a rust pudding, and then afterwards you'd say, would you care for corrosive custard? We can offer you some corrosive custard, maybe a little, trying to think of a different thing you'd put on a pudding. Some iced... I don't know, iced cream, but that's not really... I can't think of an ice cream variation of a custard. Anyway, what's the weakest custard? The hybrid flora. So I think my best bet, probably get the bullion. Get some immediate buffs going, and then, yeah, I think it's probably best to focus on the hybrid flora. Try and thin their numbers, I think it's the best bet. I'm going to have to get out of diversity quite swiftly. I have got my hastes on, though, so that's something. Something to be pleased by. Oh, yes. Oh, dear God. Oh! Yeah, okay. Okay, that's not great news. Something sort of insta-killed me there. Or insta-killed Vanille. We didn't actually fully game over, but it was still nasty. I need to kill one. I think that's the crucial problem. I think one-on-one we can handle any one of these. But when they slap us all together, that's where we're having problems. So I just need to remove... If I can remove the hybrid flora and then remove the creme brulee... I don't think that's what it's called, is it? I think we might be in for a... Yeah, the monstrous flan. Yes. I think hopefully we've dispensed of one. Once we get a bit more medic in this house, so I just need you to heal Fang up just a little bit more. Let's drop down to a little bit of bully, just a tiny amount, just to get a little bit of extra buffage and maybe just that tiny bit of extra. So if we can just get that third protect, mate, that's it. Now back to diversity, it gets our health back up and slightly more online. And then it might be worthwhile dropping into Relentless Assault for a moment or two. Quake, I think, is the nasty one. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Combat Clinic, Combat Clinic. Okay, okay, okay. Let's even use renew just as a severe panic button. There we go. Okay, right. I think we're okay. We're back to... We'll have to worry about the TP afterwards. Just try and get through this fight first. But yeah, I think it's Quake that's... It's the Quake part of this situation that's troublesome. And that is coming off the big fella, the corrosive custard that we need to... Our primary foe, but... It is a bit unfair throwing in the other two, the hybrid flora and the monstrous flan. It's just a bit overkill, really, isn't it? But I suppose that's what they want. They want to kill me. The game wants me dead. But I don't want to let the game kill me. Eat this. Change your plans, that's right. Change of plans is Vanille needs to get her medic on. Right. We're in there. Get a Libra. That's lucky. I'd forgotten the fact that I'd used all my TP, but it just came back at exactly the right moment for me to use it on Libra. All I need now is for it to replenish a lot after battle, but I can't remember. They did explain the details of precisely how they recharge TP at the end of battle. I think basically it's to do with your star rating. The higher your star rating, the more TP you get back after the battle. I'd like to say that at 5 stars you've got the entire bar back, but I'm not convinced I've seen that as being true. I think it's just at 5 stars you get the most TP back, but I can't for the life of me remember that. That's sometimes the problem I've been having with Tales of Berseria and Tales of in general. I think they keep sort of slowly but surely they keep adding bits and bobs to the battle system in those games, and then you start going, I can't remember what that old one was. That old method you told me about. What would you want me to do with that one? So that's one of the things with Tales I've found. Sort of, here you go. Here's a brand new bit for the battle system. Here's a brand new character. They function differently. A lot of the time, though, I find with Tales, this is probably why I suck at the Tales of games. Because a lot of the time it tends to be just hit the buttons and there you go. It works for you. Get back to diversity. I think, unless he pulls out another cheeky Quake that absolutely wrecks us, which, in fairness, I wouldn't put it past him. Let's do a little bit of bully. We should be able to get a little bit more damage and some more buffs and debuffs, although, having said that, he's not actually immune to any debuffs. He's just, oh, there we go, Imperil came on. He just seems to be quite resistant, it would seem, because otherwise I suspect he would have ended up with more debuffs on him than just the Imperil. But with Zaz's Ravager, him being imperiled will be useful, because it will make less difference what Zaz uses. And we have ourselves a corrosive custard down. I dropped it on the floor and it spilt everywhere, and I thought, no, I can't really serve that to the guests. The General's belt. Why did the General have a corrosive... how did the General's belt get inside the corrosive custard? That's a very worthwhile... Ooh, physical resistance by 15%. Now, is that something I want to give to Snow to meet up with his Entite ring? I'm beginning to feel like that Tetradic Tiara might have worn off a bit in terms of its potency, although having said that, his Platinum Bangle is probably not that useful. And in fairness, maybe get rid of... I suppose I could get rid of the Collector Catalogue now. Whenever she's in battle, assuming it's whenever she's in battle, it's quite useful having these items. But I'll tell you, let's try... I'll ditch a little bit of health in order to resist physical damage. Yeah, I think that's what it's doing anyway. The words make sense for it being a physical resistance thing. So I want to double check here, because there appears to be a little cheeky path here, and why would you have a little cheeky path here? Okay. Fine, it was a little cheeky path. I don't know why you'd have that there. And I feel like I need to check out this nook. Because as we all know, nooks and crannies That's where they hide their goblins. Although I think this is another goblin variant, which is interesting. What are you? I do not know, sir. Oh, it's a Borg bear. Borg bears. Borg bears. Now, am I going to get... I've beaten everything else here. Am I suddenly going to get killed by the Borg bears? It's the Borg bears. Oh, yes, the Borg bears. The Beetleborg song, if you're wondering. Still can't help tapping the button. Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tap, tap the button indeed. Oh, I don't know why she did that. Oh, that must be one of her abilities. Oh, Vanille. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention, Vanille. I do apologise, dear. I saw your health bar and just didn't really acknowledge it. Back to Relentless Assault for a bit. So the Borg bears, turns out they weren't too troublesome. I wish I'd spotted that stagger meter. I could have rescued that. But then again, he got insta-staggered by something, which is nice. Now, are you going to do that big shot again? Because that was nice. The way you did that sort of... No, there, you're doing launch again. That's a shame. She had she grabbed the two sort of... She split the spear, it would seem, and then this big roly-poly slam type thing. I don't know precisely why she did that. As I say, it must be one of her auto abilities kicking in, but which one and how I can get her to do it again, I do not know. Anyway, good. I'm glad. You're learning, game. You're learning. Slowly but surely, we're teaching you. Slightly disappointed that it was just a cap to a doll. But slowly but surely, game, we're teaching you the ways of the JRPG. And that is, you stick a nook and a cranny somewhere, the player goes down the nook and or cranny, and there's a treasure chest in the nook and cranny. Yeah, you've been struggling throughout Final Fantasy XIII, but now, fortuitously, you are learning that nooks and crannies equal treasure chests. You've not quite mastered the idea of putting useful shit in a treasure chest, but you have mastered actually putting that in there. Okay, the soul is 1 in number, both all and nothing. Entreat with the Humbubba, who defends the balance and become 1 with life's circle here again. Humbubba. Now this is number 50, which feels like it's going to be bad news bears, because I was confident through the 30s, not so confident in 40s, now we're in 50, I'm really not sure. But we will save it, we will have a go. Titan's Throne, the Fault Warrens. Oh my. Can we truly defeat Titan's champion Humbubba? I do not know. I feel like I'm going to recognise the Humbubba. I feel like they've used the name Humbubba in their games previously, so we might recognise a variant of the Humbubba. I don't think we would have fought a Humbubba before, but are you going to spit a Humbubba at me, I take it? Is that the idea here? No, he changes his mind. He's just going to place it with his hands. Or does he spit them out somewhere else, I suppose? Or are we going to see him eat something and then spit it? No, he's just going to... he's just going to pop a Humbubba there. And it would seem a Humbubba is... Yeah, that's a Behemoth, which makes me think that's a Behemoth on steroids. And considering how chunky they are in the first place, I don't think we need a Behemoth on steroids. But nonetheless, I am going to have to face off against a Behemoth on steroids. And Behemoths are bad news. Oh, nice little shift, Fang. Entirely accidental, but I'll give you full credit where credit is due. You did dodge him. So we've got fire on our blades. We've got fire in our blades and fire in our bellies. And unfortunately he's already transformed. Okay, that's annoying. He's now... Now we need to go back to bullying. So that we can try, hopefully, maybe. Yeah, we can get some more debuffs on there. Although, having said that... Combat Clinic! Go! Maximum heals! Maximum healies. Yes, I'm going to run down the road on my maximum healies. Whee! You cannot stop me rolling down the road. I have maximum healies. Right, at this point, let's go ahead and get Just Medic on its own so we can keep up the pain, since we have debuffs. We don't want to lose the opportunity. I must admit, I was more intimidated by the Humbaba than I think was entirely necessary, because I just ripped the ever-loving shit out of him with very little challenge. So, well done me, I suppose. Well done me. Well done me for being overpowered for the creature, clearly. A Scarletite! Your party has earned the rank of Protean Warrior. Marvellous stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Titan. You thought we were weak. We beat you, didn't we? Ah, fuck you. Well, we did beat you, obviously. We beat your monster, but that's good enough for me. Delightful. Yay! I don't know where that is. Unless that's right in front of me again. And because I think we can just start it again. A new trial now awaits you. There we go. So yeah, we've completed the A1. We've gone down the A1. Then we travelled down the B2. Then we went down the C3. Then we went down the D4. And we went to the E6. So what we'll want to do is the B1. And then the C1. And then probably the D1, and then the E1, I suppose, would be the best bet. You have completed one of Titan's final challenges. However, other routes remain to be taken, and other enemies remain to be challenged along the way. If you wish to attempt a new route, touch the Seath Stone again. What's the Tim, Mr. Wolf? I'll tell you what, we can probably try one more. I don't know if we're going to have to face off... Yes, I think we are. We are going to have to face off against the Gurungach once more, which is inconvenient, but I suppose if you've faced it once, you can face it again. That's what Daddy always used to say. When Daddy dropped his trousers. No, he never did that. He never did that. But what we'll want to do is backtrack. So we'll want to defeat this thing, back off, and then head towards the other side once again. So same principle as we beat it last time with, I think, which is bit of bully and then just trash him with the damage. A little bit of bully in your life. We're gonna bully him all his life, and his life is gonna be very short because we are gonna kill him in the not too distant future. Although she is struggling to get that Imperilon. Could do with getting the Imperilon. We've got plentiful buffs. Good, you've got the Imperilon. Let's go to Relentless Assault and start kicking. Let's kick the shit out of him. Oh, the Gurungach. He doesn't stand a chance. The Gurungach. He is pants. Come on, we're so close to getting that break. Cut me some slack and give me a break game. There you go, thank you very much. Now he will go down like a little punk. For he can be launched, he can have his belly tickled, and he can have all the spells in the world. Yes, that's what we like to see. A nice good stroke across the belly. Slice it up. Is that worse than the last time I tried it, or exactly the same? I think it might be exactly the same. It's almost a shame I couldn't have improved upon it, but never mind. Bombshells! I will try to stick those in my weaponry, and then I will have exploding weapons. Maybe an exploding lance, because I think that might be the next one we aim to upgrade. I want to get Fang's lance into its brand new form. Dark Deliverance. I'm going to take down a man. Souls are wrought of shadow and light. Oh, we sort of read that one, that's fine. Or roughly that description. We won't bother doing it again. For it is unrequired, is it not? That we read every description again and again and again. Suppose it's probably better if I read things than if I try to say things, for reading things is an epic task. However, me just saying things tends to become nonsense. Utter nonsense. Unlike when you do something with a spreadable source of something, at which point it becomes butter. Buttery nonsense. Look, it's getting towards the end of my timeline, my time frame. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But I am going to kick the shit out of some Borg bears and get myself another treasure chest. Come on, boys! About to get yourself fucked. They do look a little bit like they should hang on like a tree or something, don't they? Because they've got the little hook there. Look like they're Christmas tree decorations. You just insert a little bit of string around their hook, and lo and behold, you know, hang them on the old evergreen, and boom, you've got yourself a lovely little Borg bear decoration. I imagine they could do that if they wanted to. And these guys are custom built for it. Maybe that's what they were hoping for. They were hoping to do Final Fantasy XIII Christmas decorations, but it just never came to fruition. I wonder why. Is it because it's a stupid idea? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Diddly dee, diddly doo. A diddle diddle dee. Take them down to Chinatown and buy them a delicious Chinese feast. Yes, please. I would never say no to a Chinese feast unless you said the egg fried rice had peas in, at which point I'd say peas off. 5 stars, 6,000 infernal horn. Gosh darn it. Too excited to be playing as Fang. I've got the infernal horn. Guild dust. Well, it's actually slightly disappointing because I suppose arguably I will need some cash to try and find the right material to pump into my boy's weapon, Zaz's weapon. But yeah, until that point in time, it's kind of like, no, I wanted to drop down to bully, not drop down to techniques, please, gun. And get your haste on. Oh dear, that's some nasty array of status ailments it's got in that breath. We've clearly faced one before because we've got the scan on it, but I suppose arguably this is 2 of them, which could prove problematic. In fairness, and it is proving dramatically, it's phenomenally problematic. Okay, let's get the renew going and hope we can. Yeah, okay. They're fast and dangerous, which actually is making them harder than some of the others. Which is, I mean, I took on the big Humbubba game. Remember when I took on the big Humbubba? Yeah. If you could remember that, and once you do remember that, do just sort of go with this idea that I've beaten a bit bigger things than these, so please stop making them a problem. Just going to try and buff myself silly whilst healing. There we go. Right, now let's go to a bit of bully. That might be a little bit daft trying to get some bullying done since I've already done some buffs, but then again it would seem I've been losing buffs as quickly as I've been putting buffs on, so having the synergist might not go amiss. We've got D-Protect, so it might be worthwhile going straight back into super duper damage time. Especially with Fang, she is superb at physical damage. Whoa, Vanille again. Vanille. She died. She vanilla died. It's a little joke for you there. If you release a tee-hee, I don't blame you. In fact, I encourage it. I encourage you to release a little tee-hee after the she vanilla died joke. Because it was a very good joke. Send out the ruin. It's handy the fact that she does have ruin available, because obviously being blocked her attack, it's not quite as tragic. Lasting surprisingly long time. I should probably learn to fix status ailments, but I don't know. This game has sort of slightly conditioned me to not care that much about status ailments. To a certain extent, same with Tales of Berseria. I don't tend to deal with status ailments in that either. Oh dear. I really must sort of go with a strategy of, is it a problem? Yes. Well, fix the fucking problem then. Instead of, is it a problem? I mean, it is, but if I leave it, it won't be a problem. I just need to leave it for long enough. Mission completed. A Unedite. I've defeated a mam. And the mam is now dead. Right, so ideally we probably want to go... I don't know which way we want to go, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. I don't think there's going to be anything up here, but I'm going to... I feel obliged to double check anyway. Yeah, it literally just leads down, back down to there. Feels oddly pointless for that little path to exist, I suppose. I've said that a few times on many different games, that some of these paths feel oddly pointless, but the problem with that logic is if those games didn't exist, if those paths didn't exist, it would just be a straight line, like a literal straight line from A to B, and it wouldn't be as interesting. The Verdelay, once again. Haven't we beaten the Verdelay? We have, but this appears to be C1 we're going after. So this must just be a different Verdelay. Oh, we'll take on a different Verdelay, I suppose. I'm assuming I'm correct in this assessment, but I suppose I might be wrong. Oh well. Hopefully we'll find a different path next time if I am... If it is the same Verdelay as we did last time. If it's classified as a different Verdelay, marvellous. No, not a new one. Just over the old one. Let's just check in on these quests then. So yeah. Dying of Light, that was Rafflesia. Dark Deliverance was a mam. Solar Power... Oh, there you go, yeah, Solar Power was a Verdelay. So, it would seem both C1 and C3 are both Verdelay. But, this is Verdelay with something completely different, it would seem. A man with 3 buttocks. Yeah, it looks like this is a Verdelay and friends? What sort of friends are you rocking, Mr. Verdelay? Oh, I see. No, oh, right. No, it's Verdelay. Its friend is in a drawer. Okay. Get rid of the drawer first, because theoretically the Verdelays are the tougher creatures. So I would think getting rid of a drawer is going to serve me relatively well, although difficult to... Oops. Wrong button. What does that button do? Nothing. That little button don't do anything either. Just wondered what the triggers did. Never really tried. Not that it's hugely important. Please don't... Okay! That was not the monster. I suppose this is why they can afford to give you different Verdelays, because of the fact that they can summon different monsters. But that's... I mean, that is quite a bad monster for it to have summoned, so... I think ultimately we do still have to focus on removing the Verdelays, because I don't... You would almost hope that the answer is no. No, they cannot summon another massive fuck-off creature. But I get the distinct impression they probably can. And I don't want that. I don't need it. But I also can't deny that this battle has become infinitely more troublesome. Combat Clinic, I think, isn't going to be necessary. Especially, what I need you to do, what I desperately need you to do, Vanille, is if you could revive Zaz, that will save me using the TP. So, if we could find out what Vanille is doing... Yes, there we go. Vanille is doing exactly what I told her to do. Good girl. That is what we like to see. Intelligence in our characters. It's what we want in the world. Just intelligence in our characters. Right, bully time. Let us get our bully on. We need some buffs from Zaz. Debuffs to start the Steam Clean cycle. So that hopefully we can keep it locked in a Steam Clean situation. That's the secret of fighting a Juggernaut. You get it locked in the idea of Steam Cleaning. If you get lucky, you'll stagger it in the middle of a Steam Clean, which will stop it Steam Cleaning, which will mean it will extend the Steam Cleaning cycle. But anything you can do to keep it weak or Steam Cleaning. Because if it's debuffed, it's weaker. If it's Steam Cleaning, it's not hitting you in the face. And both of those things are beneficial to you. So they are surprisingly easy once you actually get the steam clean cycle going on. Especially if you get a poison. How you poison a robot, nobody knows. But apparently, you can do it. This feels like a harder Juggernaut than the ones I've faced previously. I don't know how much truth there is in that statement. Probably none whatsoever, but just it feels like it's not dying as quickly as I would like it to. I think I bullied early there. Yeah, bullied a bit early, but it should get the debuffs back on it immediately. In fairness, it just did. It literally just steam cleaned it and we immediately imperiled it again, which is quite nice to know. Deprotect is probably enough. That's about as far as we need to go on it. Right, once we get that break, that last chunk of health bar, that should really rather die quite happily. Thank you. Come on, just keep whacking. Keep whacking at it. Keep whacking. Keep whacking at it. That's what we want you to do. Just keep whacking at it. That's what we like to see. I think, in fairness, the summoning of the Juggernaut is what kind of cost me most of the stars. Because if it was just Verdelays, I'd have been able to demolish them almost instantaneously. But of course, because they threw down... oh, she's already going diamond. But I believe Snow is still rocking a platinum. Yeah. So what we can do is pop you in with a diamond. Ooh, I've managed to combine it into a magic wall. I'm assuming that's the N-typed ring and the diamond bangle joining together in perfect harmony so that we can get a lovely little combo of magic wall. Although magic wall is not going to be that useful to me at this exact juncture, seems as we're not using Snow. And I know it feels like a travesty not using your favourite character Snow, but you can't deny this. I think the Bladed Lance is a slightly more interesting weapon. Mostly because it splits in two. Because unfortunately, it's slightly weird. Most of the weapons in this game, of course, have some kind of transformational thing. So, although I don't think the boomerang would. Although I've never really seen what the boomerang does as a boomerang. Because I don't use Hope as a commando. But most of the weapons, like so. Lightning's turns into a gun, Zaz's turns into a bigger rifle, and of course hers splits into the tri nunchuck type thing. Tri-chuck maybe? I don't know. Try a little bit of chuck beef. Yes, if you insist, I will. Whereas Snow, of course, ever so slightly disappointing, he can't really transform his fists. He can't transform his bare fists into something more interesting, so he doesn't really get much expansion to his weapons. Which invariably makes her Bladed Lance. I think her Bladed Lance might be one of the most interesting weapons in the game. Although having said that, 2 handguns that transform into a rifle is pretty funky. Oh, we've already had a Zealot's Amulet. That's disappointing. We didn't want it when we first got it. I don't want it now. So I think this way is probably the one. It's not the only one, but it's the only one that makes me feel like this. I believe this is going to be D1. It should be anyway. D1, yes, the Gaian Grudge. Oh, it's a bloody Tombury again. Oh dear. Well, we beat one before. We might not be able to beat one again. Impossible to tell, but there you go. There you go. Do do. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Ba ba ba. Ba. Oh, that is not a Tombury. That is not a Tombury, sir. Oh, I see. It's not meant to be a Tombury. Huh. I see. So probably best skirt around that because yeah, there's a treasure chest there, which means it's probably going to be a very good treasure chest, but I would not claim confidence in my capability. Are you triple tombering me? This is alarming. 1 tombery was concerning. 2 tomberies is alarming. 3 tomberies? I don't think that's a good plan, game. This is bad news bears for tomberies. Right, we've staggered. I think we've staggered a pair of them. If we can really get in there. This is why I'm avoiding bullying for now, because I'm hoping to get straight in there, although I think we need to get some health back in here. I really need to kill one very, very rapidly, which is why I need this stagger to work in my favour quite substantially. But with the other 2 keep knifing me all the time. Bloody chef's knife. Nobody wants your little chef's knife. We'll try a bit of bully. Hopefully we can finish it off with just the blades. Especially with a bit of deprotect in there. Smite! Nice! A good little extra on that. Might as well be this tombery, I suppose. Right, we've imperiled him, but that's not going to be that useful. Let's get some health. Health! Oh, get some health! Suddenly gone New Zealand. We want to get you some health. How much health can you get? How much health can you get in the shed? I don't know. Depends on the shelving in the shed. If you've got plentiful shelving in the shed, you should be able to get a lot of health in. Not a brooding grudge. I don't know what any of these do, which is where I can't, I can't be truly fearful of them now, considering I don't know what half the fucking moves do. But there you go. Never mind. I mean, we know knife just does a chunk of change. I don't know whether there's like a percentage-based thing, because traditionally, I think, as I say, the sort of the lantern used to do a sort of, you've attacked me this much, will I attack you this much more with my lantern? Whereas these guys, I don't think have quite such a... I suppose arguably, in this battle system, I don't think the Tombury's sort of... I will damage you for substantially more than you damage me for, is it would necessarily work. Although, having said that, I'm still not entirely sure what some of these names are doing, so... still makes it alarming. There we go, challenged him. Challenged the other one, marvellous. Now use a bit of Medigard. Oh, hello. Now we want to go back into that Medigard after all. I had thought maybe we were going to not need the Medigard and be able to transfer immediately afterwards, but and he stabbed me with that knife again, and there's another stabbing. There's something mildly amusing about the way their little legs run across. Oh, because I defended myself. I fucked the stagger meter. Very annoying. Not a lot I can do about that. Plus I've lost all of my bloody buffs. So I'm assuming... I don't know which one is doing it, but I'm assuming one of its moves... Is it the knife that's taking it? I don't think it's the knife that's taking it. Oh dear. Yeah, actually it might be the knife that's... I think... Oh! Okay, that's the deep-seated grudge. Okay, well we might be losing here. No, that's the wrong Tombury. Focus on... No. Oh, fuck! Why is one of the Tombury... What? Oh, oh, God. I think they've made Tomburys difficult. I mean, Tomburys were always difficult, but 3 of them seem to be taking the piss now. I suppose 2 of them are taking the piss. The 3rd one's dead. But that's not the point. It still feels like it's taking the piss. I don't think I can win this fight. It's kind of aggravating. I had really rather planned on winning the fights. Now I've sort of been denied the whole winning the fights thing. But if it does that sort of big grudge move again, I think I'm probably going to get wiped out. But I'm not doing any damage. Oh, I've lost all my bloody buffs again. Oh, I can't... this battle is annoying me now. Good. Good! It's what you want. It's what you need. It's what you love. Oh, I need better fucking things. Better everything at this point. I need to keep that stagger meter, please. Don't lose the stagger meter. Oh, this is... Yeah, this fight is going to drag. Why, you got a bit of dick, game? Why can't you just let me have... Like, one Tombury was enough. One Tombury was enough, thanks. It was like, I've experienced a Tombury now. Thank you. I appreciate experiencing the Tombury. Can we have no more Tomburys? Come on. Just, like... It's taking so long. I know. I have the patience of someone who has no patience. That was supposed to be a better sentence, but I haven't the patience to work out a better sentence. Alright, get back to diversity while we're slightly buffed so that we can try and... Oh, fuck off! You cheating little cocksucking little fucking bitch of a fucking cunt game. No, it's not game over, is it, you little fucking dick-headed, shite-burgling dick wanderers. Absolute fucking bullshit. Sudden wipeout of Fang meant game over. Bloody bullshit. Well, we'll probably do some more Titans trials next week, but we might have to avoid D1 for the foreseeable future, because D1 is clearly they mark that as dick, as in dick the player over. Can I not? Oh, I was going to say, can I not get the fuck out? But apparently I can. So I was fairly certain your instructions stated you can get the fuck out. Unfortunately, we're going to have to end on a miserable failure of a cocksucking battle. I also have to go find a save point, which is bloody nuisance. It's not that far away. But we'll upgrade ourselves a bit more, because we'll have earned some elements of CP from some of those scraps, but we'll have to go back and try and... I suppose arguably we can probably look for C2, because we've done C1 and C3, so if we look for doing C2, we can then head back out and, as I say, avoid D1 perhaps, in order to spare me from 3 bloody Tomburys. I don't know. I suppose I need to go back to basics and figure out a brand new set of paradigms, which is going to be a paradigming pain in the arse. Because I think what I'd need to do is try and get some kind of... I might even try maybe 3 Ravagers could perhaps work well with the Tomburys. Just try and overwhelm what is essentially quite a high and substantial stagger meter. That's part of the issue. They've got a very hefty stagger meter, which leaves very little room for fucking it up. Which, unfortunately, is where I tend to fail miserably. And there's very little room for fucking it up. And me being quite such a fuck-up. This is a very difficult situation, but there you go. Synergist we did. Ravager we've now done, so on to a little bit of what you like, and what you like is Commando. A little bit of vanilla. I believe you were working on your Sabotage, but we'll double check Medic. Yes. So Sabotage, you're very nearly finished. Will we get you finished on your Sabotage, or will there be leftovers? I feel like we're about to get it finished, yes. Which means we move on to Ravager. Get you some major stat buffs. That is what we need. And what we need is what we get. Sentinel, we did. So Ravager. Upgrade his Ravager. That is what you need to do now. That's what you do now. Ooh, Stopka. Another spell I probably won't use, because that's a technique one, I believe. Yeah, it's a technique, so I don't often use techniques, apart from the usual panic button when everybody dies and you have to renew their spirit. Commando, we did. Ravager. We appear to have done, so it's on to Medic. On to... Come on, lightning, on to Medic. That's how you... nope, she didn't get very far there. Just the pair of sentences there just made me chuckle. Done there. Couple more on Medic. Oh, I thought he'd given up for a moment there. Would have suggested he had extremely limited CP compared to everybody else, which would have been peculiar. And whoosh! Up to the highest heights of Ravagers. Right. Well, I suppose we should perhaps do some shopping. Shopping wasn't quite what I was intending to do, but never mind. Well, we could buy another adamantite, but I'm fairly certain adamantite wasn't what I needed. Lenora's garage, no. The mother lode is usually where they are, but yeah, I've got all of that's available in the mother lode. Creature comforts, I think, is just items. The Moogle works, accessories, magical moments. That's not what I want. Nope. B&Ws. Blades, no, we don't need those. Whoops, no, I want to get out of Blortuses. Up in arms. It's going to be weapons again, of course it is. It would be foolish of you to think it was anything else. No, I think we'll leave the shopping, but we will do some upgrading. So let us upgrade, and as I say, I think what we'll try and do, we'll sort those, but I don't think it was needed. Let's go Bladed Lance. See what we can accomplish inside of our Bladed Lance. A little better bonus, that's what we like to see. A little more... Oh no, it leveled up, marvellous. Bladed Lance level 14. And now it's got a 100% bonus, so let's pile in something big, like a particle accelerator or two. Bladed Lance starred. Ah, Perovskite! Duh, you want Perovskite? The Glaive, level 10. So maybe let's try and... who hasn't had an upgraded weapon yet? I don't think the boys had an upgraded weapon yet, but... Ugh, God, it's just a garbage weapon. Obviously Zaz doesn't, but we haven't found the material. The Helter Skelter is an upgrade, so Solaris is an upgrade, so nah, fuck it. We'll continue upgrading the Glaive. Why not? Stick a couple of bones in, stick a sea petal scale in, 25%. Stick a load of chipped fangs in. Level's been improved as well, that's good. Future upgrades get a 50% bonus. What I'll try and do is hopefully esoteric oil, going to give me a 200% bonus, so that suggests if I pump in the last two of my particle accelerators, I will get a substantial chunk of change. I will also get a substantial chunk of change if I do that. Yes, up to 19. Transformers, not hugely beneficial to me, I don't think. Or molted tails, I should have categorised those. I would have been putting them in. Oh, I think we'll leave it there. I must admit, yeah, because unfortunately it won't look like it's changed until I do a battle. So I suppose that's a lovely treat for next week, perhaps. We have a brand new weapon for Fang to test out. And now all that is left is the triple save combo. The triple save combo, how do you do? The triple save combo, how do you do? Hello, I do. Okay. Because I am the triple save combo. Now, how do we get out of here? I've forgotten all the buttons to get out. There we go. Quit the game. And then we exit and we quit the game. Everybody wants to quit the game, quit the game, quit the game tonight. But you can't, quit the game tonight. Oh yeah. Sometimes you just can't quit the game. And when you can't quit the game, you keep on playing the game. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo, doodly-doo. Everybody likes a game when they quit, and then they play the game, play the game. Ooh, play the game indeed. Right, let's see. I don't feel like there's anybody left. Yeah, not really. But I suppose we could. I did have sort of a planned raid because I happen to know someone who raided me is online. But I must admit, it's probably going to be a little bit disappointing when it's like, hello, I'm here, nobody else is. But never mind, I suppose, never mind. We might as well have a go. He's 3 hours into a 6-hour doings. Where is it? Unless this literally ends up being nobody. We will do the raid after all. I suppose one bit shit in it. Bit shit in it. I don't think it's really worth it. No, I think really you need at least a couple of people, because otherwise it's just a bit meh. So anyway, I guess we'll be doing again in the week. If you want evening entertainments, you've got Mr. I say that there's nobody here, right? There's no point. Cheerio. That's it. Cheerio.